Greetings, brothers and sisters. Tonight is February 23rd, 2025. It's currently 10 after 5. We are here in Atlanta, Georgia, and this is our mass meeting for the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, Division 421, Atlanta. Tonight's topic will be Professor Dr. Tony Martin.
Yeah, I see the ball.
Brother James, if you could please keep your line muted for a moment. I'm just trying to, just want to make sure I'm speaking correctly. I know his birthday is either coming up or just passed. So confirm that really quick. Oh. All right, I'll find that in just a moment. We're celebrating and honoring Professor Dr. Tony Martin. We'll talk about who he is and his significance to the UNIA and why we are honoring him tonight, but that'll be the topic. As always, we have our opening rituals. Get my computer to work. So we'll start with our pledge to the flag. If everyone would, please come off mute. Put your black fists in the air. Stand at attention. And repeat after me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
Commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security
to the protection, defense, and security
of the red, black, and green.
Of the red,
black, and green.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa.
The liberation of her scattered black children.
And the liberation of her scattered children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept myself and my descendants.
Teachings of universal African nationalism.
Teachings of the universal African nationalism.
And I promise that our children will be instilled.
And I promise that our children will be instilled
with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle
will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
And one destiny.
Race first.
Race first.
You may be seated and please mute your lines. That is our pledge. Next item we have is some of our hymns. First one will be from Greenland's Icy Mountain. In the absence of an official chaplain, I'll step in. From Greenland's icy mountains, from India's coral strand, where Africa's sunny fountains roll down their golden sand. From many ancient rivers, from many palmy plains, they called us to deliver their land from error's chain. Shall we, whose souls are lighted with wisdom from on high, shall we to men be knighted, the lamp of life deny? Shall we to men be knighted, the lamp of life deny? Salvation, O salvation, the joyful sound proclaim, to earth's remotest nation has learned Messiah's name. Waft, waft, ye winds, his story, and you, ye waters, roll, till like a sea of glory it spreads from pole to pole. To o'er our ransomed nation, Redeemer's sinner slain, the Lamb for sinners slain, Redeemer, King, Creator, in bliss returns to reign. Apologies. Brief prayer. Everyone would please assume preferred position of prayer. Almighty God, whose kingdom is everlasting and power infinite, be gracious unto the Universal Negro Improvement Association, and so rule the hearts of thy servants, the President General and the members of High Executive Council and all others in authority, that they, knowing the great responsibility of their office, may above all things seek the honor and welfare of this race, and grant that our people, considering the authority that they bear, may faithfully and obediently honor them in accordance with our laws. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, who with thee and the Holy Ghost liveth and reigneth ever, one God, world without end. Amen. Okay. And last is shine on eternal light. Share that. Give me a second. I gotta close some things in the background. Got too many programs running. Okay. That'll do for now. Excuse me. Shine on eternal light. Shine on eternal light to greet our souls this day, dispel the gloominess of night, and drive our doubts away. Our longing eye prepare when war and strife shall cease, to view the morn soon to appear, the new era of peace. Thy glorious church, O God, no kingdom can remove, made without hands, the blessed abode, the harbinger of love. Of all the gifts that flow from thy great throne above, we ask thee on our hearts bestow the gift of perfect love. My soul the light receives and dares the truth to prove, not in blind ignorance believes, but knows that God is love. Come, love, and give new birth to man's destructive mind. Spread where confusion reigns on earth, goodwill to all mankind. Shine on, eternal light, thy penetrating ray shall turn the hour of darkest night into eternal day. Amen. That completes our opening rituals. We'll do a brief roll call, go over ground rules, do our preamble, do our minutes from our previous meeting, and then we'll go into the topic for tonight. So, roll call, start with our officers. Give me a second, pull up the attendees. We have myself, President John, present. I did see Diane. Lady President Diane, I see her, is here as well. Treasurer Ross Marvin is present. First Vice President, Brother Macias, I saw him. Yes, he's here. Second Vice President, Brother Malik is here. Third Vice President, Brother Eric is absent. First Lady Vice President, Sister Cecily is absent. And I thought I saw her for a second. Second Lady Vice President, Dr. Kuda is present. And I believe that takes care of all. Where's Brother Art? Don't see Brother Art. That's all our officers. In addition to our office, oh, I'm sorry, Council General Attorney Imhotep is present. Brother Orman is also representative of our elders, so he's an officer as well. In addition to our officers, we have Sister Ifaniyi, member 386 out of Marietta. We have Sister Rod Ebony, member number 440, and currently in Wilmington, Delaware. We have Brother James, member number 486 in LaGrange, Georgia, and Sister Sharon. Were we able to get iPad 2? Can you announce yourselves, please? iPads.
Aziza.
Read it, Sister Aziza. Thank you. iPad 2. Okay, iPad 2. I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room. Okay. And Brother Cornelius, our agriculture coordinator, just joined. Total makes 15, including one in the waiting room. Well, 14, including one in the waiting room. Okay, that is our roll call. And after roll call, we have Ground rules. Ground rules. Please keep your lines muted when you're not speaking, so that everyone can hear those that are speaking. Please keep your comments limited to 3 minutes so that everyone can have the chance to share. Please take notes, and so that you'll be able to respond to whatever. You'll have a notes for what you would like to respond to. Sisters, don't give out your personal number. We prefer you give out an email or business line. And I think that's all I can think of. And other than that, have fun. So those are our ground rules. And then preamble. So preamble, and then Brother Art. If the Brother Art's not on, then I'm gonna have to go to some notes, because I know he sent me something recently. So our preamble states, the preamble to the UNIA-ACL Constitution states, the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League is a social, friendly, humanitarian, charitable, educational, institutional, constructive, and expansive society, and is founded by persons desiring to the utmost to work for the general uplift of the Negro peoples of the world. And the members pledge themselves to do all in their power to conserve the rights of their noble race and to respect the rights of all mankind, believing always in the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. The motto of the organization is one God, one aim, one destiny. Therefore, let justice be done to all mankind, realizing that if the strong oppresses the weak, confusion and discontent will ever mark the path of man. But with love, faith, and charity towards all, the reign of peace and plenty will be heralded into the world, and the generations of men shall be called blessed. First, thank you. Brother Art is not available, so let me check my email. Family emergency. Okay, okay. So we will have to follow up with our meeting minutes from our previous meeting. Brother Art is not going to be available tonight. So, one thing I forgot to mention, in addition to tonight's topic of Dr. Tony Martin, we also have a presentation from Dr. Cooter in regards to the Office of International Organizer. So, we got a pretty full agenda, and we need to go ahead and get started. So, without any further ado, I'd like to get into the reading for what we have for Professor Dr. Tony Martin. All right. Let's see how long this is. I haven't read this in a little while. Okay. It's a short one. And it's got the video. So if we can watch some of the video as well, which I highly suggest everyone watch that video. Matter of fact, we will watch some of it. So I'll go ahead. Dr. Tony C. Martin, former UNIA-ACL historian. Students of the course of African philosophy should know him as the editor of the course of African philosophy. And during our next mass meeting, I'll send you a list of the new Marcus Garvey Library, which has several texts authored by Dr. Tony Martin. Former UNIA-ACL historian, born February 21st, 1942. So his birthday was 2 days ago. Transition 17th January 2013. Known as Professor Tony Martin, was a historian, author, and emeritus professor of Americana Studies at Wellesley College, Massachusetts. He is regarded as the preeminent expert on the life and work of Marcus Garvey. So, obviously, UNIA-ACL, that is part of, well, that is the major connection with Dr. Tony Martin, the official historian. We should know the UNIA founded originally in 1914. Mr. Garvey himself transitioned in 1940 So here we are in 2025, and we must give credit to Dr. Tony Martin for preserving a lot of that history that could have been lost to time. But um, let me continue. Born in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Martin's education and work took him around the world. He qualified as a barrister at law in Honorable Society of Gray's Inn, London in 1965. Did a Bachelor of Science honors degree in economics at the University of Hull, England, and a master or MA. I don't know if that's master's or associate. And later, yes, master's, and later a PhD in history at Michigan State University. He taught at the Cipriani Labor College, Trinidad, St. Mary's College, Trinidad, and the University of Michigan, Flint, before beginning his work at Wellesley College. Professor Martin taught at Wellesley from 1973 to 2007, during which time he was awarded tenure. He was a visiting professor at the University of Minnesota, Brown University, and the Colorado College. Professor Martin spent a year as an honorary research fellow at the University of West Indies, Trinidad. Professor Martin lectured in many countries. He spoke to university and general audiences all over the United States and Canada, the Caribbean, Europe, Africa, Australia, and South America. In 1990, he delivered the annual Du Bois, Padmore, and Nkrumah Pan-African lecture in Ghana. In 2004, he was one of the principal speakers at the first Conference of Intellectuals of Africa and the Diaspora, which was sponsored by the African Union in Senegal. Professor Martin established his own publishing company, the Majority Press, through which he published many of his own books and the works of other authors. He wrote, compiled, and or edited 14 books, including Amy Ashwood Garvey, Pan-Africanist Feminist, and Marcus Garvey #1, and Mrs. Marcus Garvey #1, or A Tale of Two Amys, 2007. Literary Garveyism, Garvey, Black Arts, and the Harlem Renaissance, 1983, and a classic study of the Garvey movement, and his seminal text, Race First, the ideological and organizational struggles of Marcus Garvey and the Universal Negro Improvement Association, published 1976. Professor Martin's articles and reviews have appeared in the Journal of Negro History, Journal of African American History, American Historical Review, African Studies Review, Washington Post Book World, Journal of Caribbean History, Journal of American History, Black Books Bulletin, Jamaica Journal, Comparative Studies of South Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, and many others. Professor Martin's writing can be found in several reference works and encyclopedias, including the UNESCO General History of the Caribbean, the Oxford Dictionary, and National Biography. Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, American National Biography, the Encyclopedia of African American Business History, International Encyclopedia of the Social Sciences, and Encyclopedia of the Harlem Renaissance. He received numerous academic and community awards, including a grant from the American Philosophical Society. Professor Martin reviewed articles and programs for scholarly journals, including the National Endowment for the Humanities and the Austrian Science Fund. His biographical listings can be found in Who's Who in America, Who's Who in the World, Who's Who Among America's Teachers, um, Personalities Caribbean, okay, Who's Who Among African Americans and Elsewhere. He was also a reviewer and consultant for publishers and served as an expert witness for congressional hearings. Professor Martin was a featured guest on the Marcus Garvey episode of BBC Radio 4's Great Lives, which aired in 2005. Professor Martin passed away unexpectedly in Trinidad and Tobago on the 17th of January, 2013. He was 70 years old. He was survived by his son, Shabaka, who was the light of his life. Um, okay, yeah, the continuation is not set up. That's okay. So that's a brief, very brief biography, extremely brief. I wouldn't even call it a biography, but some of the achievements of Dr. Tony Martin. Um, since we have some time, I'd like to take a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so, and play this video and allow Dr. Tony Martin to speak for himself. This video is a gem in regards to history. Um, a lot of the things that we talk about, the UNIA, the establishment of the government, it was documented in this film during a presentation that Dr. Tony Martin gave. So I like to play that. And again, this is also in everyone's everyone got a link to this video in the in today's invitation. Give me one moment. Share. Share sound. And the first individual that is speaking is our former Consul General, Brother Farouk Muhammad. Without any further ado, Dr. Tony Martin, his speech on our history, laws, our rights, and the speech is from 2007, but it's talking about the key thing is that I took away the establishment of what Dr. Tony Martin calls the provisional government of the UNIA-ACL by Marcus Garvey. Okay.
Has become very profound and significant to me because for over 35 years, I have committed my life to looking for that legal legacy that I knew we had a right to. We have a God-given right to self-determination, and we also have a legal right to self-determination. Many of us don't know about either one. Many of us don't know that there was a time and a period where we had our own black government. And it wasn't just our own black government, but it was a global black government. And one person documented it. He did quite a bit of it in his book called Race First and the Course of African Philosophy. I say to you all, this is a school, this is an institution. All of our schools should have these books. All of our black bookstores should have these books because it contains information about our history, about our legal legacy. This brother has been working for many, many years and is known probably as the premier Garvey scholar in the world. He is also a professor and a barrister. So we have to get started right away. Let us give a warm welcome to Dr. Tony Martin.
Thank you very much, Brother Farouk. Very happy to be here in Washington, D.C. once again. And the topic which I was asked to deal with tonight was Marcus Garvey as a revolutionary nationalist. I'm going to begin by reading a quotation from Marcus Garvey that gives you an idea of what he meant by revolutionary nationalism. Quote, "When we, as members of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, talk about a government of our own in Africa, a flag of our own, and a national anthem of our own, some Negroes laugh at us, but we have only pity for them, as they know not what they do." That's Marcus Garvey speaking in the 1920s. Now, Marcus Garvey built his great organization, the greatest that we've ever had, on the philosophy of what he himself called Black or African nationalism. And what exactly did Marcus Garvey mean by Black or African nationalism? By African nationalism, Marcus Garvey was referring to the ideology, the philosophy, which has always been the most important philosophy among the mass of our people. All our major organizations, most of our largest organizations in our history, have always been informed by the idea of African nationalism. African nationalism means basically that we have to have control over our agenda. We have to be the ones who determine what our priorities are. We have the ones to set our own philosophy. As Marcus Garvey himself said in his famous essay on African fundamentalism, he said, "The right is ours and God's." I usually break down African nationalism into three very simple, basic ideas. That is race first, self-reliance, and nationhood. Race first, meaning that we should have the right to look after our racial self-interest first and foremost before we deal with anyone else. Self-reliance, meaning that we have to strive to do for self, do things for ourselves. And nationhood, meaning we have to strive for political self-determination at all levels, whether it's local politics, whether it's national politics, whether it's pan-African politics. Garvey came along in the 1920s, but by the time Garvey came along, there had been a great tradition, a long history of African nationalism. The great Martin Delany, way back in the 1850s, one of our great pioneers in the area of black nationalism, Martin Delany had said, long before Garvey, he said, "We are a nation within a nation." He was talking about African Americans. He said African Americans are a nation. This is 1850 something. We are a nation, he said, within a nation. Even though we lived in the American nation, we had our own nation within that larger nation. As early as the 1790s, even before Martin Delany, there was an organization in Newport, Rhode Island in the 1790s. This is before our enslavement ended. It was called the Free African Society. Free African Society. And they were saying the same thing, that we are a nation, we have a right to relocate where we want to, set up our own government. And they were trying to get back to Africa. This is in the 1790s. This is long before Civil War, long before the end of slavery. They were trying to get back to Sierra Leone in West Africa to set up their own independent existence. In 1827, we had the first African-American newspaper ever founded, called Freedom's Journal. And in that first newspaper founded in Philadelphia, the first paper, the first page of the first paper in the first editorial, they said, "Too long have others spoken for us. We have to speak for ourselves." In other words, they were saying, we are our own nation, we have a right to regulate our own affairs, we have a right to set our own priorities, we have a right to speak for ourselves. One of the editors of that first African-American newspaper was a man called John Ross Worm. And about 3 years later, in 1830, he too went to West Africa, to Liberia, to try to set up an African nation on the coast of Liberia. So again, from very early, you had this idea of African nationalism. One of the biggest organizations we ever had in the 19th century, shortly after slavery ended, was an organization known as the Liberia Exodus Association. Tens of thousands of our people sold their property. We went to Charleston, South Carolina, looking for ships to take them to Liberia. And the idea again was that we did not necessarily belong to the American nation. We had our own nation. And those who belonged to this society, the Liberian Exodus Association, they wanted to exercise their own nationality by moving to another location to do their own national thing, have their own government. They didn't think they were part necessarily of the American nation. And there were many, many other people like this. There was Chief Sam, a man from Ghana, in the early 20th century, just before Marcus Garvey, Chief Sam, and he organized an African society all over the South and the Southwest. Kansas, Oklahoma, all over the place. And he actually bought a ship in 1914 and took a shipload of African Americans back to Ghana. Same thing, folks feeling that they did not belong to this wider nation, that we were a nation within a nation. In more recent years, you've had many other examples, again, of major organizations in our community always asserting this right to do our own national thing. We are a nation within a nation. After Garvey was deported back to Jamaica in the late 1920s, you had an organization based in Chicago called the National Association for the Advancement of 49th State, for the establishment, a national movement for the establishment of a 49th state. In those days, there were only 48 states in the United States of America. And what they wanted to do was to set up a 49th state for black people only. Again, this idea that we were a nation separate within this other nation. The national movement for the establishment of a 49th state. They wanted to go into some sparsely populated place somewhere up by Nebraska or some place where there was a lot of land and few people, where they could carve out for themselves, a black state. Even though it would still be within the United States, it would be a black state where black people could have their own national self-determination up to a point. This is 1930s, 1940s actually. In more recent times, you had, again, many other examples. You had the Republic of New Africa, which pointed out that there were 5 states in the South, which had counties in them where black folk were the majority. And they wanted, that was the whole concept of the New Africa. They wanted to set up a state in these parts of the South where black folk were the majority. So they could actually carve a whole new state out of pieces of Louisiana and Alabama and Mississippi, etc., where black folk would be in a vast majority. There would be a black state. But they too were giving voice to this ancient idea of black folk being a nation. That is black nationalism. The early Nation of Islam also had the same idea. The early Nation of Islam, the Nation of Islam used to call for a state or place, either in this country or overseas, didn't matter where, a state where African Americans could go and have their own government. Malcolm X used to say the same thing when he first came on the scene. So the thing then is that the idea of black folk having a separate kind of national reality is a very ancient idea. It is one of the most ancient ideas in African American history. It's the idea that has always been at the bottom of all of our major organizations. So how exactly would you define a nation? What really is a nation? Many people have given suggestions as to how to define a nation. One of the most famous definitions of a nation is a definition that came from Stalin of the Soviet Union, the famous Stalin. He defined a nation. I'm going to quote his definition of a nation and see how much that definition might apply to African America. This definition is from Ray's first. A nation. Here's how Stalin defined a nation. Quote, a nation is a historically evolved, stable community of language, territory, economic life, manifested in a community of culture. So let me go through all of the items he lists there to see to what extent those ideas might apply to African American. A nation is a historically evolved. That is, a nation, he says, is a group of people who have evolved historically. That is, for a long time they were together and they evolved, they developed historically. But no one can deny that African America evolved historically. Out of the period of enslavement, out of the struggles against enslavement, the struggles against racism, imperialism, colonialism, the struggles for freedom, justice, and equality. We're talking about several hundred years in which a community had a chance to evolve. So a nation is a historically evolved, stable community. African America is a stable community, a community of language. There's no doubt that African Americans over the years developed a language that was sort of associated with that community. It was English, but it wasn't the same kind of English that people spoke in other places. It was clearly what some folks call black English or whatever, but clearly it was a community that had some aspect of a language that they could call its own. A stable community of territory. Now, the question of territory, clearly the black nation doesn't own any territory. But as I mentioned before, the Republic of New Africa identified some areas in the south where black folk were actually the majority. So even though black folk in this part of the world didn't necessarily own and control, in a political sense, territory, nevertheless there was still some element of territory associated with the black nation. A stable community of economic life, psychological makeup, manifested in a community of culture. A community of culture. Every nation has its own peculiar cultural aspects. And nobody in America, I don't think, would deny the fact that the African American nation is a nation that has its distinguishing culture. In fact, it's one of the strongest cultural influences on America. So much of the popular culture of America has been copied, stolen, borrowed, appropriated, or whatever from black culture. So, based on this definition by Stalin, it seems that you can safely assume that there's some basis for the idea that black folk historically can claim to have at least some aspects of a nation. Now, when Garvey built this great organization, the UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, Garvey set up this association along the lines of a nation. Among the many accomplishments of Garvey's organization was the idea that he was trying to build a kind of an embryonic nation. One of the titles that was given to Garvey at his conventions was Provisional President of Africa. At the time that Garvey was starting to organize, most of the African nations in the world had been conquered by European imperialism. So what Garvey was trying to do was to point the way towards regaining our nationality. The sister who spoke earlier a few minutes ago quoted those famous lines from the Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, where Garvey was saying, he was asking the question, where is the black man's government? Where is his king? Where is his queen? Where are his men and women of high affairs? And the sister pointed out, Garvey said, I could not find any. I looked around, I could not find any. And Garvey said, I decided that I would do something, to remake the situation where once more we would have nations. So it is no coincidence then that the UNIA became a kind of a provisional nation, because that was one of the major reasons for Garvey starting the organization in the first place. Because he's looked around the world, he couldn't find any African nations that all had been conquered, and he wanted to resume this situation where we would once again have our own nations. And that's the reason why the UNIA became a provisional government of Africa. And the word provisional is very important, because what Garvey was saying was that this was only provisional, that is, only for the time being, until such time as Africa would again become free. In other words, Garvey wasn't saying that he should take over the rulership of Africa. He was saying the UNIA could point the way. That's what provisional means. It would be a provisional government, a temporary government, which would point the way and show our people what they had to do. So while there was no government on the African continent, the UNIA would be the government in the meantime, kind of a thing. And if you look closely at the UNIA, you will find that almost every aspect of the UNIA was geared towards this notion of a provisional government. All of the facts, the factors, all of the aspects of any government you will find in the UNIA. It was in fact a provisional government. First of all, there was Garvey's title, which I just mentioned, Provisional President of Africa. Every government needs a parliament or a congress or some kind of legislature. The Garvey movement had its congress and its international conventions. There were about 8 international conventions between 1920 and 1938. These international conventions were like parliaments, they were like congresses where people would come together. And the people who came together would be delegates. They would come as delegates from all over the world. The Garvey movement at its height had representatives in over 40 countries around the world. So here was a real world parliament. 38 states in the US, 48 countries, or 40 odd countries around the world, all coming together, sending delegates. And they would deliberate the way that any parliament did for the whole month of August, from August 1st to August 31st. They would sit down for an entire month like a parliament. They would debate questions, they would pass resolutions, they would plan programs for the coming year. So they were very much a kind of a provisional parliament. Like any good parliament, they had their elections. People like to say that Garvey was a dictator. Nothing could be further from the truth. All the leaders of the UNIA were elected in those conventions. Garvey himself had to stand for election. It is a little known fact that in the first convention of 1920 that the sister mentioned earlier, Garvey had a difficult time being elected President General. There was a Nigerian brother from Montreal, a doctor who was living in Montreal, but from Nigeria originally, who ran against Garvey and got a lot of votes. So Garvey actually had a campaign and had mounted a pop-up campaign on the run to become President General of his own organization. You're talking here about a very democratic organization in that respect. Like all governments, the UNIA had its ambassadors. The UNIA had ambassadors to a variety of countries. They had an ambassador to Great Britain. They had ambassadors to other places as well. And these people acted like brand ambassadors. They looked after the interests of the race, wherever they happened to be. And sometimes foreign countries even accepted them as ambassadors. The Garvey movement also sent ambassadors and other emissaries to international organizations. That's something that nations do. Nowadays we have the United Nations. In the earlier days you had the League of Nations. Even before that, Garvey sent ambassadors to what they called the Peace Conference. After the First World War, all the major powers of the world got together. France, Great Britain, Russia, United States of America, and many others. They all got together after the First World War. This was 1919 in Paris, France. They had what they called the Paris Peace Conference. And that was perhaps the major, most important international convention in the world up to that time. And one of the things they were doing was dividing up Africa, because Germany had lost the First World War, and Germany used to have colonies in Africa. And so the victorious nations were getting together to divide up the German colonies among themselves. And Garvey served as a representative of a provisional African nation, because there was hardly any African nation there with any power. There was Liberia and there was Ethiopia. Neither of them had the power to pressure the major powers in the world. And so Garvey sent a representative there to lobby on behalf of the organization and to try to get them to allow Africans in the former German colonies to govern themselves. Later on in the 1920s and 30s, Garvey went back to the League of Nations, which was the forerunner of the United Nations, the League of Nations. And there were several petitions Garvey put forward to the League of Nations. So here again, the Garvey movement was acting like a government. They were lobbying international conventions. They were sending their ambassadors and emissaries around the world to advocate on behalf of African people. So they were in fact a provisional nation. Every nation needs a flag and a national anthem, but the Garvey movement had all of that. If you look at the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, you'll see where at the 1920 convention in Harlem, one of the major things they did was to come up with the red, black, and green. The red, black, and green came out of that convention in 1920. Here again was a symbol of nationhood. In fact, one of the most enduring and long-lasting of all the symbols of nationhood to come out of the UNIA. And as we know, Garvey explained what the red, black, and green were all about. Red was for blood, for struggle. Black was for our people, and green was for the luxuriant vegetation of our mother Africa. That was the symbolism of that flag. One of the things that spurred Garvey on to come up with that flag was a song that used to be sung here in America at that time. The song said, every race has a flag but the coon. They used to call black people coon and coons in those days. And the song said, every race has a flag but the coon. Every race has a flag except the coon. So Garvey said, well, this can't do. Well, we have to have our flag. We have a provisional nation, so they can't say that anymore. We have our flag now. And if you ever look at a map of the world with the various flags and stuff, you'll find that in Europe, a lot of the nations in Europe have flags that have red, white, and blue in them, different variations of red, white, and blue. And if you look at Africa, you'll find that a lot of the nations in Africa, the flags have some variation of red, black, and green in them. Garvey actually set the scene for what has become one of the most common color combinations in the African continent. The African National Congress in South Africa, their flag was patterned after Garvey's flag. The Kenyan flag was patterned after Garvey's flag. It's the same red, black, and green with a spear and a shield on it, but it's basically the red, black, and green. And there's several other African countries that you'll find some variety or variation of the red, black, and green. So here was one of Garvey's more enduring symbols of nationhood, the red, black, and green. Garvey also gave us our anthem. When I came in here earlier today, I heard it playing, Ethiopia, the land of our fathers. The national anthem. You will find the text of that in the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey as well. That too was approved at the 1920 convention in New York City. Every nation honors its outstanding citizens. I don't think there's any nation in the world that doesn't have titles and it gives to people, It gives them orders, order of the African Redemption, order of this, order of that, Lord this, that. And the Garvey movement, same thing. That was another aspect of its nationhood. You had Duke of the Nile, Commander of Uganda, all kinds of titles like that Garvey gave as a symbol of appreciation for members of the race who were about the business of our race. Every nation needs a propaganda arm. That is, it has to have its own spin on what is happening. You can't have a nation and have other people defining your reality and telling you who your friends are and who your enemies are supposed to be. And Garvey, like any good nation, had a very powerful media, a very powerful propaganda arm of his own. Over the years, he published a variety of newspapers. The most powerful, the most well-known was the Negro World, which became the most widely circulated African newspaper in the entire world in the 1920s, the Negro World newspaper. Anywhere you went in the African world, you found people reading the newspaper, being influenced by it. Any UNIA meeting you went to, whether it was in South Africa or Australia or anything else, they would read. At the start of the meeting, they would read the front page. Garvey used to have a weekly message on the front page of the Negro World, and that was the text, the gospel for every week's meeting all over the world. That became the most widely circulated African newspaper in the world. So here too you had a national outlook coming out of the UNIA. Every nation needs to defend itself. And Garvey had his own defense force, his own paramilitary organization, the Universal African Legions. Many of the members and many of the instructors and the officers in the Universal African Legions were veterans of the First World War. Many of them had fought in the U.S. Army or in the British West Indian Army during the First World War. So these were people with real military experience. Garvey was unique in the sense that he also had a female paramilitary organization. The Universal African Legions were men, but you had the Universal African Motor Corps, M-O-T-O-R, Motor Corps, which was made up of women who had military training as well. Every nation needs to have some economic base. You can't have a nation if it has no economic base. A nation has to be able to generate revenue, to generate money. And here again, Garvey was exceedingly successful. It's no accident that the Garvey movement was able to build the largest newspaper, African newspaper in the world. It was able to build a Black Star Line, which was, to my knowledge, the most ambitious business venture of any African organization in the world at that time. It was able to amass tremendous amounts of real estate. The UNIA owned, expensive buildings in Harlem, in Chicago, in Detroit, in Toronto, in Montreal, Cleveland, Philadelphia, all over the place, in Costa Rica, Port Limon, Costa Rica, in Trinidad, all over the place. They own, huge amounts of real estate. A few of these pieces of real estate are still in the organization up to today, nearly 100 years later. So all of this generated financial base to carry on the operations of the movement. So here too, the UNIA was acting like a government. All of these were attributes of nationhood. We talked about the fact that Stalin's definition said that, a nation is manifested in what Stalin called a community of culture. Culturally too, the UNIA was a strong presence. In the 1920s, the major cultural thing happening was what they call, at least they called it this after the fact, what they call the Harlem Renaissance, where you had the poets and the writers, the short story writers, the jazz musicians, you had painters, sculptors, playwrights, but there was a wide array of cultural activity happening in the Black world, especially here in African America, and especially in Harlem. And the Garvey movement was in the thick of that.
I'm going to stop here for
It was one of the pioneers of that, and many.
For the sake of time, we'll stop here. Again, everyone that got an invitation to tonight's meeting should have access to that video. We'll open the floor briefly. I'll just recap what I've noted. I've seen this video a few times as well, but Professor Tony Martin started out with the concept of defining a nation and speaking on how we as a people have always had that spirit of a nation within a nation. And he went back through history of the 1800s, Free African Society, mentioned individuals like Martin Delany, the Liberian Exodus Association, going up to the early 1900s, Chief Sam and ships to Ghana, national movement to establish the 49th state, talked about the Republic of New Africa, early Nation of Islam, but showing that example of the desire of our people to express nationhood. And then, throughout the remainder, Dr. Tony Martin defined nation and then explained how Mr. Garvey and the UNIA, in our structure of the UNIA, how that functions as a provisional government through the titles, the delegates, the conventions, functioning as a parliament, a democratic process, the flag, the anthem, national defense, a financial base. But this is a very rich video, very rich information from a very reputable source, Dr. Tony Martin. So I encourage everyone to further watch this video more than once, and try our best to understand the information that's being presented and how that applies to us today. Ross Marvin, are you there? I wanted to see if you had any comments on Dr. Tony Martin or our former Counsel General, Brother Farouk Muhammad.
Yes, President John, thank you so much. You did a good job uncovering Dr. Tony Martin, and but I do want to add upon Counsel General Farouk Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, a lot of our current members in the UNIA, not only in Atlanta Division 421, but in all divisions around the world, they don't know this history. They don't know the details of this video, because after Dr. Tony Martin did his research and came with the book Race First, he documented how the UNIA government was a fully functioning international government for about 8 to 10 years until they deported our first President General, Marcus Garvey. So brothers and sisters, Consul General Farouk Mohammed broke down to us in 2009 when we started our Atlanta division, how our government, what the 5 things that our ancestors did in August 1920 to establish our government. And I'm just going to run through them real quick. Number 1 is the plebiscite. Number 2 is the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World. Number 3 is the flag. Number 4 is the Constitution. And number 5 is recognition from other governments. So it's very, very important that each one of us internalize this information and be able to break it down to brothers and sisters that we encounter, whether they're UNIA members or not, even down to our youths and children. We definitely have to get this information out to our people of how the UNIA became a government. Even amongst our leadership, I don't think some of our leadership in the parent body can break it down to members, because you never hear of our parent body talking about this. The 5 things our ancestors did to establish a government. They do talk about we're a government, but I question if they now know how we became a government. So brothers and sisters, we don't want any members in 421 to not know this information. So please make sure that if you don't know the information, you get the information. This is very, very vital, because the highest form of self-determination is we functioning in our own government. And when it comes to laws, international laws, Farouk Mohammed taught us that whatever law that existed in the past, that law still exists today unless it was nullified or dismantled by the people that who created. And our government was established on international law, and never ever was it dissolved. So that's why in 2009, they had the Kujichagulia citizenship ceremony in Washington, D.C., where we had a rebirth of our government. And since 2009, everybody should know that the UNIA has been calling itself a government. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, President Ross. Yeah, we're getting ready to open up the floor. Want to see if there's any comments from our current Counsel General, Attorney Imhotep. Attorney Imhotep, is there anything you wish to share before we open the floor?
No, other than if anyone knows the former, well, he's deceased now, the former Consul General Farouk Mohammed, please let me know. I believe we were in school together, in law school. I'm not certain, but the brother looks awful familiar. And I remember we talked and discussed philosophy, separate from the law, African philosophy. And so that's my only comment. I enjoyed the film there, and I'm going to definitely pick it back up here. Thank you. Race first.
Thank you, Counsel General. Yes, and I'm just imagining that time, 2007, Counsel General Farouk Mohammed and Dr. Tony Martin, both, working together to restore a lot of this rich history that we value today. But dynamic duo is the first thing that comes to my mind. So any other
quick question?
Yes.
Does 421 have a written or visual history?
What do you mean by that?
Has it been documented for us who started it? The trials and tribulations have gone through the years from inception to today. Has that been documented?
Ross Marvin, what are your thoughts? I know the
We do
most.
have, yes, we do have some form of documentation on the start of 421, but it's not complete. Meaning that the documentation that we have, when we have our orientation, local division orientation, there is that documentation that talks about how 421 got started and started by who and so on.
Yes.
But it's not complete
Yeah.
And
because
so we need a documentary about 421,
that would be
basically.
excellent.
You need a documentary and like a book, say accompanying book or whatever with images, and if you still have pictures of stuff, compile that. We can put all that together and make our own history.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That would be good. I just want to wrap up, President John. That would be good. Brother Malik, you're the second vice president. I text you this question, and Malik is our second vice president.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that would be good, second VP, if you could spearhead or coordinate this effort so we can have it fully documented. And to the point that Attorney Imhotep had asked a question, did anybody know Farouk Muhammad, Consul General Farouk Muhammad directly? Yes, I knew him personally. I was one of 8 people who Farouk Muhammad selected in 2009 to teach the history of our government. And we met every Thursday evening. And if you miss one meeting, any of the 8 people that Farouk selected, if they missed one meeting, they were automatically kicked out. Farouk Muhammad was a no-nonsense Consul General. And out of the 8 people that Farouk had selected, I am the only one left in the UNIA in our government today. The other 7 people is not currently with our UNIA, or they're not active in the UNIA. Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
Any other questions, comments on today's presentation, Dr. Tony Martin? Again, one second. Our focus, we could do a broad discussion on Dr. Tony Martin, but we're focusing on the connection with the UNIA and that history. So, Lady President.
Yes. Greetings and race first, brothers and sisters.
Greetings.
So, just want to note that Dr. Tony Martin actually has 14 books that he wrote, compiled, or edited. And one of them have an interesting title called The Tale of Two Amys. So he talks about the two Amys, which is interesting. But I also wanted to add that I was watching, I normally don't watch a lot of TV, but I was watching a couple of things last night. And one of them just happened to be, because I was listening to Tony Martin talking about a nation within a nation.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them happened to be about South Africa. And so we have these Boers or Afrikaans or whatever they call themselves actually setting up. It was done by a popular YouTuber, young kid by the name of Woedemeyer. Some of us may be familiar with him. But he went into this town where these people have set up their own nation within South Africa. And, they've got their own government, their own currency. They have the best land that they're using for agriculture. And of course, no blacks are allowed. And so he kind of was interviewing them. But so the amazing thing is that they went into a black land and then they are setting up their own government, and they're actually, barring black people from entering. So that's kind of crazy. And then another one I was watching, it talks about 10 different states in the United States where no blacks are allowed. So it's not so much that no blacks are allowed there, but it's like, they look at you like vermin or something and discriminate against you in different ways. And most of them are the Midwestern states, but it's a YouTube video, I believe it was, so anyone can find it. And the title of it is actually 10 states that blacks are not allowed. And the way the guy that was narrating the whole thing, it's almost like he's saying, stay away from these states because you're not allowed, even though we didn't, that's not the title, but the sound of his narrative. And the last thing I wanted to, well, another couple of things I want to say is that Brother Tony Martin, Dr. Tony Martin actually came under attack by the Jews. They were calling him anti-Semite because in one of his class, he introduced a couple books that were done by the Nation of Islam called The Secret Relations Between Blacks and Jews. Now, there is an actual amazing talk on those books by Minister Farrakhan, and I think that's the title of the talk, and that's like an amazing talk. But he came under scrutiny and was attacked, by the Jews because he introduced that book. And then, maybe we shouldn't like take it for granted that he died suddenly. They said he just died unexpectedly. So sometimes you just never know. And then the last thing I was going to say is that not everybody's going to want to move to Africa. I think it's our homeland. I think we should have Africa set up and established the way Chinese in America have, China as their homeland, and they come and go, Japans and all the rest of the folks. But in some sense, all we have to do here, we already have the government, which we are part of. All we have to do here is just follow up and reset our Black Wall Streets. Who's to stop us from recreating the Black Wall Streets? And we create Black Wall Street with the UNIA government. I mean, if white people from Europe can go to South Africa and set up their own government, what's to stop us from setting up Black Wall Street the way they used to be before they were destroyed with the UNIA government? So that's my observation. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Lady President. Excellent observation. We got a hand up, Dr. Shams.
Black Power, race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yes, sir. Any resistance against international human right to self-determination and self-government can be combated by Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 48, where both Marcus Mosiah Garvey and Noble Drew Ali both are recognized in the Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 48. And that's by linking ourselves with the family and nations, trade, business, travel, and what have you, even citizenship. Even though we don't have to go over there to be citizens, you can sit here and be a global citizen if you wanted to, but I don't suggest that, because not every nation on the planet likes our kind of people, But
You said that's
anyway,
in the
yeah.
Excuse me, Dr. Sharon. You said that's in the Circle 7 Quran?
That's in the Circle 7 Quran, Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 48.
48. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Marcus Mosiah Garvey and Noble Drew Ali both are mentioned there. And it states that we should link ourselves with the family and nation in case they want to change or turn around on any international laws pertaining to our human rights under international law. Our recourse would be the trade, travel, and business we do with the family and nations that have our interests at heart so that they could come over here and help defend us. Black Power, race first.
Sorry, race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. Yes, there's still a lot of work that we have to do. I think it's all based in the teachings and the philosophy of organization. And with that being said, if there aren't any other comments on Dr. Tony Martin or the video.
I had a comment, President John.
First Vice President, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I do have a couple comments. One of the comments that I had, I think in the video I try to think about tools that I can pull to hopefully help us be successful in fighting this mission. And one of the things he said about our rights as a government, and he talked about what race first is. and it's about our right to be able to have self-determination and be able to provide for ourselves, our right to do so. In that sentence, I think about a lot of our people who hear that, and they also hear, since we have the right to focus on ourselves, you do too. And some of our people fear white people taking that stance of saying, hey, we have the right to only focus on ourselves and not focus on you. So for me, it becomes a task to help understand that fear. And in that understanding, I uh, come to the realization that those people who do fear, they don't and aren't aware of their abilities and to be able to provide the things that they believe they will lose or getting from this other government. So most of our people with fear, not being able to have control the transportation routes, control bridges, control having access to food, being able to control those things. They don't believe that we are capable or able to be able to get ourselves to that point where we are able to actually have that control. So it's important for us to understand that and understand what our task is. Our task is to get to the point where we are able to show our people that we are able to provide for ourselves, and that the fear of leaving these institutions and coming and helping us with this, we have the plan, the action to do it, and we are executing it and being able to show them that, and them to be able to see that, because our people are such visual people. So, approaching our people with that understanding, uh, hopefully, will help us apply that to our works, but also uh, apply that even in our conversations. Because uh, although we can say, "Hey, you should just uh, be confident and come over here," a lot of our people aren't at that state when we approach them. They do have that level of fear. But one of the things I also wanted to talk about too, last thing, that he talked about one of the things that we were missing in those 8 characteristics of what a government is. Of course, there's how we became one, but then he talked about the 8 characteristics, and one thing he said was territory. And when I thought about that, I thought about how a corporation like a Walmart actually hits all of those with their stores being their territory. Of course, they have the brand, that their logo is their flag. They have a growth process. They have the training. Corporations normally meet those standards, and the reason I say that is because I want us to understand the different levels of territory, so we can uh, hopefully figure out how to start small so that we could scale up. Uh, when we talk about state, uh, our first territory is our state of mind. The second territory is our state of our being. The third is our estate, our household, our domain, and that's one of the important ones. And he talked about title, and of course, title is about property. So that's why it's important for all of us to become homeowners, because each and every one of our individual homes can be the first territory we start with. Each and every one of our individual families, and the commitment that our family makes is that is like the Declaration of Rights. Um, so it's important for us to just first take the small steps to understand that we do have all the jurisdiction we have by each individual family, and our goal is to unite each family and to show the value of that to our people, and to let them know we do have a government, and it just starts with you and me. We don't have to have our houses connected next door to actually be a government, but it's just you owning your ship, your person, your state of mind, in the territory around you and your environment and every room you walk in, and then we shall rise to execute this task that's been started so long ago. Race first.
Race first. Very well said, First Vice President. We can we'll discuss that further. But very well said, very well articulated. Any other questions, concerns on the presentation?
I just want to add a little bit to what Brother Macias just said, if no one else wants to speak.
Please be brief, Lake President. We got another presentation
Yes. So, Brother Macius talk about the state of mind and also understanding a task, which is all true. But another thing we need to understand too is our history. Like Professor James Small says, if you know your history, it'll erase all of the mystery. But the history of Black Wall Street is thriving communities with their own supermarket, hospital, shops, doctor's office, lawyer's office, all of that was there. So we have to also embrace a build it and they will come philosophy. Like I read somewhere about some black people sometime we're in Atlanta or outside of Atlanta finding a 90-acre lot that they make into a community and it's all black people. So I'm thinking, it may not have to be Atlanta again, but we should be thinking along those lines. A community of 90 acres or more where we're just going to build developments and then we build all the other stuff to support that development. And that's kind of how it starts. I know it's long-term stuff, but if we're going to have a nation within a nation in the US and a nation in Africa, we have to kind of think along those lines. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Lady President. Great points. Couple groups that come to my mind, and they're both actually here in Atlanta. Actually, three groups that come to my mind that are here in our local area. One, New Black Wall Street in East Atlanta. That is something that we should better understand and support and promote if these are in line with the things that we encourage. So New Black Wall Street would be one. The other is who's our brothers and sisters Archie Black Achievement Fund here in Atlanta, based out of Atlanta. To my knowledge, they have purchased some land and they are working to house that land with some of these concepts that we have been discussing. And the third group that comes to my mind is Hereafter Farms. When we had our program on February 15th, Hereafter Farms was there, and they spoke on a similar venture to what Black Achievement Fund is doing, but I think I'm not sure the comparison of scale. They mentioned somewhere about 400 acres and a certain number of families acquiring the land, owning the land, and building on the land. So those are three groups that seem to be pursuing some of the things that we've discussed. So I think it would be good if we would understand their process, where they are, how they got to where they are, as well as their ultimate vision, and see if it's in line with our vision. Okay, if there's not anything else, we will move to our second half. We've got a presentation from Dr. Kuda. Dr. Kuda, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You want me to present for you, and then you just tell me when to press the slide, or you want to
Yes,
hold it?
please.
Okay. Wait a moment. Download. And for everyone's awareness, Dr. Kuda, well, first and foremost, let's badge it up for Dr. Kuda, as Ross Marvin would say. Dr. Kuda was recently announced this month as our new international organizer for the UNIA-ACL. So she now serves on the High Executive Council under that role. And I asked her to put together a brief presentation because I know time is always a concern. Brief presentation on the Office of International Organizer, her thoughts and her vision for this office. Dr. Kuda, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let me share my screen. It looks like you got some YouTube clips up here too.
Yeah, if you could start maybe. Did you open the latest one?
Well, can you see my
That I
screen?
said, yes, I can.
So I've got this presentation, and I see a clip that.
There's the okay.
Let me open this one.
No, no. The ones in the slide.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Dr. Kuda, you have the floor. If you need me to go to the next slide, just say slide.
Thank you very much. Greetings, everybody.
Greetings, Dr. Kuda.
Greetings, Dr. Kuda, international organizer for the
Thank you.
UNIA-ACL.
Thank you. We'll be presenting to you on the roles and responsibilities of the international organizer. Next slide, please, President John. Honoring the past, building the future, the UNIA-ACL strategic path and the global unity. This is the introductory slide, a century of Gaviism, overcoming challenges, embracing opportunities, and advancing Pan-African empowerment. The next slide. On this slide, I have two videos that I would like us to watch first. Before I begin, I cannot speak without first honoring the legend herself, the Honorable Lady Henrietta Vinton Davis. As the international organizer of the UNIA-ACL in 1919, she dedicated over 12 years to advancing our mission, laying the foundation for the work we continue today. It is only fitting, especially during Black History Month, that we acknowledge her enduring legacy before delving into my presentation. With that in mind, I invite you to watch these two short introductory videos that highlight her remarkable contributions and impact. Go ahead, please, President John. The first one is 4 minutes, 39 seconds. The second one, you will be familiar with the lady Netanyahu. Her name is Natanya Duncan. We did some work on her research in our orientation class. Thank you.
Yes, one moment. I'm getting the video up in the background. Sorry.
Thank you.
Share sound. All right, that is the first video. Second.
Thank you, President John. Can we just go to the second one? That one is 7 minutes.
Yes. 1 moment.
This is Duke University. This is Duke University.
Global trade and environmental justice.
Human rights issues are still.
The term Ubuntu.
The Alien and Sedition Act.
Is making inferential discovery.
The importance of an archive.
The John Hope Franklin Center.
Lady Henrietta Vinton Davis, who Garvey dubbed the Negro Joan of Arc. She was a Shakespearean actress and orator. She was the protege of Frederick Douglass. She worked as recorder of deeds in Washington, D.C. Her stepfather was an affluent Methodist minister, and she comes to the organization at age 56. The average age of members of the UNIA ranged from 28 to 35. Now, here's a woman who could very easily be a club woman. She's a recorder of deeds. She's a former school teacher. You know, she comes with a cachet, and yet she likes the UNIA. She's a Washingtonian, but she likes this New York, Harlem guy standing on the street corner shouting at the top of his lungs. And the question for me became, okay, did she not have sense? I mean, she was grown, right? She's supposed to have it together a little bit better than this. And come to find out that what attracted Lady Davis to the organization more than anything else was the idea that Garvey was against color consciousness. And for her, this was a big deal. She felt that color consciousness was actually the ruination of the race. That of all the problems we have, you could drink, you could smoke, you could philander, just don't be color conscious. Do it with smoke with everybody, drink with everybody, sleep with everybody. Just don't be color conscious. And so for her, the deciding factor became this idea of how do we have racial progress? Not just racial uplift, but racial progress. How do we move everybody in a direction? Her first step in that direction was through an auxiliary called the Black Cross Nurses, and she became the lead organizer of the Black Cross Nurses. The Black Cross Nurses was actually an auxiliary that was established to assist women in the organization who were already practicing homeopathic remedies. It was one of the ways that they took credit for what they did. They created an organization that allowed them to practice lay nursing, and eventually they went on to establish a nursing program in the organization with Dr. J.J. Peters at the helm, and the program was an 18-month program. You could not buy a uniform until you completed the program, and they actually had a graduation ceremony, an examination process that all led to becoming a certificated nurse. Now, why this becomes important is that this is being done at a time in America when nursing schools are only graduating 1, if 2 African American women. The majority of African American women, particularly in the South, are engaged in domestic service work, or in the North in factory work. Yet and still, they know a little something about this bush or that berry. And what Henrietta Vinton Davis's Black Cross Nurses does is actually get women to combine homeopathic medicine with textbook medicine. So in places in Louisiana and Miami, Mobile, Alabama, in Key West, in Denver, Colorado, and in Los Angeles, where people would not necessarily get to see a doctor, or there was none to come, they had the BCN. The second thing that's important about the BCN is that it existed, and I neglected to mention this, and it's important because it's significant to this word universal. The Universal Negro Improvement Association existed on all 7 continents and throughout both the West and East Indies. Now, the reason that the BCN become even more important is that they actually become what I consider the diasporic diamond of the UNIA. Why? Because they took good notes and they helped my research. They actually print pamphlets with instructions on how to use certain teas, how to treat rashes, how to cure whooping cough, what do you do if you think you have lighthead, which meant high blood pressure, what to do if your husband was cranky, what to do if your children weren't listening, what to do for sucking thumb. And as a result, you see a kind of amalgam of ideas from the Caribbean, from Africa, from North America, from Canada, from the South,
I have to
coming
present.
together
It
in
ends
these
at
pamphlets. And they're
8.
actually sitting down with each other saying, okay, the name of this plant for us is this. What do you call it? Do you all have this plant? Okay, well, the next time we get together, we're going to figure out how to get this plant distributed so that everybody can have access to aloe vera. Something that people in the Caribbean took for granted, you know, and they called it single Bible because of the long leaf. They were talking to women in New York and Chicago, finding out that they weren't using it on their skin and that it was good for burns and chickenpox and so forth. And so she also is the only female in the UNIA hierarchy. She's 4th President General of the organization itself. She becomes the president of the Black Star Line and the Black Cross Navigation Trading Company. She is the only salaried woman in the organization. She was promised a salary of $6,000 a year by 1923, and to date, I think Lady Davis only collected maybe $4 grand for 12 years of service. So I do spend a lot of time in my research on her because I think she does deserve a lot more credit than what she got.
Produced by Duke University.
Thank you, President John.
Yes, you're welcome, Dr. Kuda.
The next slide, please. So I will be touching on the roles and responsibilities of the international organizer very quickly and briefly so that you have an idea of what this office is supposed to be doing for the UNIA and for the people globally. As an international organizer of the Universal Negroes Improvement Association and African Communities League, my role is crucial in advancing the organization's mission on a global scale. My responsibilities revolve around strategic organizing, international outreach, mobilization, and strengthening global chapters. Here's a breakdown of my key responsibilities. Next slide, please. International coordination and chapter development. That's one of the areas I will have to establish, strengthen, and support UNIA-ACL divisions and chapters worldwide, ensure alignment with the organization's principles and objectives, and I need to assist in structuring and formalizing new branches and maintaining active membership. I also have to facilitate communication and cooperation between divisions in different countries. Next slide, please. In addition to that, strategic planning and global engagement, item number 2 is to develop international organizing strategies to increase membership and activism. I need to collaborate with local leaders to mobilize communities and engage in UNIA-ACL initiatives and promote self-reliance, economic development, and Pan-Africanism as core principles, as well as represent the UNIA-ACL at global conferences, summits, and community gatherings. Next slide, please. Number 3, advocacy and policy influence. I need to advocate for the African sovereignty, Black empowerment, and social justice on the international stage. I need to engage with governments, institutions, and international organizations to push for policies that support the African diaspora and the African continent. I need to educate communities on their political, economic, and cultural rights. Next slide, please. I need to fundraise and do some form of resource mobilization. I think you heard Natanya talking about the Honorable Henrietta being the only paid person at that time. But that was then. I think in this time, this day and age we are in, every person working in the UNIA, if we are seriously meant to be effective in how we deliver our roles and responsibilities as they are set out in the UNIA-ACL Constitution, which is a full-time job, I think we all deserve to get salaried. So as part of my role to do fundraising and resource mobilization, one of my biggest goals is to ensure that we raise those funds that we all can be salaried. And we know that the Honorable Marcus Mosia Garvey, most of his funds came from membership dues. And I am knowing that we are able, we have presence globally. We had presence in all 7 continents, and we still can do that. And that gives us a broader field to be able to have more chapters and divisions and bigger membership. And that brings us to have enough financial resources to be able to give our hardworking officers salaries. So that is one thing, one of my top goals. The reason being, I would like for our officials to be full-time in their positions and not to be working another job and then you have to still do the job of the UNIA. No, we want to work in this government full-time, not part-time. So on that note, part of my responsibility on fundraising and resource mobilization is to organize fundraising events, grant applications, and also do some donor outreach to finance global operations, develop sustainable financial, like for instance, we have people like Kat Williams and them who are already UNIA sensitized. You can see when he wears his hats, it's got a red, black, and green flag on. Develop sustainable financial strategies for international activities and travel. Identify and engage strategic partnerships who align with the UNIA-ACL's mission. Next slide, please. Communication and reporting. Maintain regular updates with the UNIA-ACL central leadership on international activities. It's very important. Prepare reports on chapter progress, challenges, and strategic recommendations. Utilize digital platforms, newsletters like we have the Whirlwind newsletter, and other media to promote UNIA-ACL global impact. That's one thing nice about Division 421. We have Whirlwind newsletter, CBPM. Next slide, please. Communication and reporting. Encourage economic self-sufficiency, which was shared also by Professor Tony Martin and our first Vice President, Brother Meses, touched on self-sufficiency through cooperative economics, trade and investment, support educational and cultural programs that preserve African history. Very important. I was listening to the issue of the Statue of Liberty. When the Statue of Liberty was brought here, the shackles, the chains don't show on the Statue of Liberty. They're right at the bottom of her feet. But that Statue of Liberty was meant to show that the chains have been broken loose, the slavery had ended. And that is something that this lady that I was watching last night, that she advocated for, and now it has been rectified to some extent. So we have to preserve our African history, heritage, and identity, which is something I'm also doing back home in Zimbabwe, as well as in South Africa. And yes, Lady President Diane, that issue of what's happening in South Africa, of where white people have demarcated a certain territory for themselves, and you still say that blacks are allowed there. No, they don't allow, not even a black journalist to enter in that territory. They've demarcated it just for themselves as whites. So I don't know why we black people cannot also have our own when we want to have our own. But we're not like that. The way Marcus Garvey has taught us to be. Although we want to be self-reliant, but we do not discriminate. Promote businesses and initiatives that empower Black communities globally. Next slide, please. When it comes to leadership development and training, I'm aware that already President John is doing great works and also Lady President Diane have trained us on Race First, and President John has trained us, or still continues to train us on Message to the People, and those trainings can help in the continent, you know, in other continents, specifically in the African continent, for leadership in African continents. So it's not something I'll do by myself. I have to work with a team. As much as I'm international organizer, we'll need a budget. People who are proficient in these trainings, like President John, Lady President Diane. These are the kind of trainings we would like to give to our brothers and sisters out there in Africa, so that they can also become proficient as President John and Lady President Diane. Conduct leadership trainings for division organizers and members as well. We could do that as well. Develop programs to train the next generation of UNIA-ACL leaders. Yes, we also keep it within the family. But when we're doing it for African leaders, we hope that they also can become UNIA members. Foster a culture of unity, self-determination, and accountability within the organization. My role is both visionary and operational, requiring very strong leadership, strategic thinking, and a commitment to Marcus Garvey's philosophy of African redemption, unity, and self-determination. Now, for the next slides, this is just part of the role of the international organizer. When it comes to the next slides, could you move to the next slide, please, President John? The next slide. This introduction is now the actual 5-year plan, which I'm not going to go into because I will lose you. This 5-year plan, these slides go up to there's like 30 more slides that I have to go through, and I'm not going to bore you, but I've already set up a 5-year plan from 2025 to 2030 as to how I'm going to implement those roles and responsibilities. So on the introduction here, I'm just speaking about a pillar of Pan-African thought, economic empowerment, and Black unity. And this presentation outlines the strategic plan for 2025 to 2030 to expand, strengthen, and sustain our mission as the UNIA-ACL. Next slide. And there's a historical context, which is the very first slide. The UNIA-ACL grew into the largest Black empowerment movement, overcame political persecution, financial challenges, and internal division. And in 2025, we got the post You Must Pardon of Marcus Garvey, reigniting global interest in his legacy. So with these two introductory slides, I didn't read the first bullet point because that was very clear that the UNIA was founded in 1914. Am I right? Yeah. Which Professor Tony Martin clearly explained in his opening presentation. If we are to go to the next slide, let me just take a look what's there, please, President John. Okay, the strategic goals for 2025 to 2030 is the global expansion and chapter development. I think I touched on these already in my roles and responsibilities. International advocacy and governance engagement, economic empowerment and fundraising, community mobilization and youth engagement. The youth, we need to bring the youth from the universities, leadership development and governance strengthening. So in a nutshell, this is the chunk. This is what needs to be tackled. And I'm not going to do it alone. I know Division 421, my brothers and sisters, you are with me. You're going to be working with me that we can implement this 2025 to 2030 vision, strategic goals, and we will succeed. I'm not going to bore you any further. I'll stop there, and questions and answers. Your questions are welcome.
Great timing, Dr. Kudo. We're approaching 7 o'clock. And yeah, we'll open the floor for questions and comments for our international organizer. If I could go first, briefly, just first, thank you, Dr. Kuda. Very proud of your progress, development, and ambition, and desires to organize. Very first and foremost. My only question is, in regards to this information, did you have to create this yourself, or were you provided some form of an outline as to what the expectations were for international organizer?
I used the what is the letter of employment? Was it the letter of employment, the job offer? I used that letter to guide me. And I also used the Constitution. Sometimes I even call this international organizer, I call this role Section 25 because it's Section 25 in the Constitution. So I use those two to guide me as to what needs to be done.
Okay. And last thing is, in regards to the pride, this is the example that we must all follow, the example that Dr. Kuda is showing us. The thought that keeps coming to my mind, as President Ross said earlier, the highest form of self-reliance is self-governance. And really what that personifies into is representation, being able to be a representative of a particular community, and that highest form of a representative. Dr. Kuda exemplifies the highest form of an international organizer. So she's the current, Marcus Garvey or Henrietta Vinton Davis of the international organizer role. That's the highest you can achieve. Attorney Imhotep is the Marcus Garvey in regards to legal understanding and aspirations in Constitution. There's no higher position than Counsel General. So we must all be preparing ourselves to take on these roles. Ross Marvin served as our commissioner for District 5. Commissioner is one of the highest roles that you can serve in regards to organizing and leadership. There is one higher, the High Commissioner, who is the commissioner of all commissioners, but commissioner is basically the lead organizer for all presidents within a district. For us, District 5 is South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. So we should be aspiring to be able to hold these roles, presidents, lady presidents. These are the heads of the division itself. So, thank you, Dr. Kuda, Attorney Imhotep, Ross Marvin. all, even our executive body doing a great job of exemplifying what it takes to carry on these roles and responsibilities. Thank you, Dr. Kuda. Anyone have any questions for our newly appointed international organizer?
I'd like to say congratulations on your new role, Dr. Kuda. Great job. Just want to say also I'm available to support in whatever way I can. And I have to ask, are you related to the lady in the second video? Because she looks just like you.
Natanya does.
Natanya Duncan. No, I'm not. In the orientation, when Brother Oster took us through her research, I also asked the question: is she related to the President General Duncan? Thank you, Lady President, for those good words, well wishing. Thank you very much, and for your support. Thank you,
Dr. Kuda.
Brother Cornelius.
Hey, this is Brother Cornelius. Congratulations on that new position, and thank you for taking on that role of service. I wanted to ask you, will that require you to do some travel?
Absolutely. I am ready, set to do that. I've already been thinking of, like, now when our Queen Motley from what's this country now? The President John, can you help me?
Barbados?
Yes, from Barbados. When she presented at the African Union, I listened to her speech, and she referenced Brother Arnold, who's the one who wrote our anthem. And she referenced the UNIA, which shows that, she has some passion. She has a soft spot for the UNIA. So I think that's a very good place to start with her, because there's going to be a conference in September for CARICOM, which is Caribbean Communities, which she chairs. She's the chairperson of that. And I'm also thinking of speaking to President Ramaphosa, and also to the current president in Zimbabwe, although, these presidents, they have issues that people want to remove them. But nevertheless, we don't take sides whether he's in power at the moment or whether he'll be out. We're just neutral. We are about the people. So I'm looking at speaking also with President Emerson Mnangagwa. Yeah, I am looking at traveling very soon, but I think that will be after I also speak with the person who I report to, who is the first Assistant President General, Brother Raymond Duguay. I haven't really sat down with him. President John is aware of all the communications that I have sent to him so far. So I just need to sit down and solidify some action plans with him. And once I get his blessings, I think I will proceed. Some of these travels I have to finance from myself, from my pocket, unfortunately, until we raise enough funds. Some of these governments can possibly help us, like they've helped the UN. I've worked for the United Nations. The UN gets offices in these African countries, and the African governments actually accommodate them and pays for those office spaces. So if we speak with our African governments well, we probably could get the same treatment like the United Nations gets. Thank you. I've answered you.
Thank you.
I don't know if I've answered you.
Oh, yes, very much. Thank you.
Yes. So we could maybe get also our traveling budget from the African governments. We never know. It depends how we approach them.
We got two more hands up in the chat. I'm not sure who had their hand up first. Dr. Zafia.
Sister Ra Ebony had her hand up first.
Okay, thank you for that. Sister Ra Ebony.
Greetings, family.
Greetings.
Thank you, Dr. Zafia. I appreciate that. I just want to say, congratulations, Dr. Kuda, my girl. I'm so
Thank
happy for
you.
you. And not
Thank you.
only am I happy that you are uh, getting settled in your position, I'm happy and I'm ecstatic that you are understanding your role and that you are comfortable with what what it entails. So that my heart is growing so grand of that. So
Thank you.
congratulations to you all over. And not only congratulations to you, I have your first assignment. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Here
Yes.
in Delaware, I have connected, well, to you all. We have an official Delaware division number. I will introduce myself to the mass. I am the former lady president of Division 421. I am now the lady president and leading organizer of Division 83, Wilmington, Dover, Millsboro, Delaware.
Division
Um,
83.
Division number 83. Yes. Yes, founded by Bubba Keys. And I have that information at another time. But
Okay.
Dr. Kuda, I have
Yes.
um I have linked with some Liberians as a big
Wonderful.
group of Liberians, and I have actually talked with her today. So this conversation is right on time. I'm not going to take too much of my time in this mass meeting, but I did want to just say congratulations. I have an assignment for you, and we're looking forward to go forward. So race first, everybody. I love you all, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Love you. Love you, my former lady president.
Thank you, Sister Ra Ebony. Dr. Zafia, you had your hand up.
Greetings, one love. Congratulations, Dr. Kuda. Very,
One
very.
love, Dr. Zafia. One love. You took me to the grave of Sister
Yeah.
Henrietta Vinton. We prayed there.
Yeah, it's so awesome to see that it's unfolded so wonderfully and that so creatively.
Thank you.
That your
Thank you,
spirit
Dr.
infused into
Zafia.
you. But yeah, so I really appreciated your presentation and the clarity of
Thank
your
you.
vision, and would be happy to talk to you off, line about the, ideas around an international kind of kids and culture scouts type of Garvey Scouts type of idea that might go well with this idea of internationalism. Our children have been pretty much deprived of geography education in the schools, and so this could be a unique niche. But also, I just curious on that note, and of course, giving our children and our communities basic geography education, UN wise, and the lay of the land and that, but beyond the concrete definition of nation, and do you have like a kind of more like, are you just going based on what the UN considers a nation, or do you have your own kind of like that and some? Because there could be a lot of organized groups that are not acknowledged by the UN, sorry, that might still be noteworthy in certain ways, from the perspective of the UNIA-ACL's values, you know what I mean? And there's also like local, like the sister was saying, the whole world kind of comes here. So like also kind of, I don't know, expat groups and the stuff here on these soils. You're in New York. So, have you thought about it that way? Is that how you would scale it up, or you just do all dimensions of it? Just curious about what is a nation? What does it mean to be national so that you can be international? Like, what is us versus them? Like the Garvey Nation versus any organized group out there with helping our people, or the Garvey Nation versus the US and all the states acknowledged by the UN. You see what I'm asking? Like,
yes.
Okay, thank you. Because we're all informal members. I learned from the Constitution. Technically, our Constitution counts all our people as informal members of the Garvey Nation. It's just whether
yes.
I don't know if the word's informal, but you know what I mean. Okay, thank
you. Yes. We watched the video on Professor Tony Martin, and he was speaking on the Honorable Marcus Garvey and African nationalism. And he spoke about the three basic ideas of African nationalism, which is basic ideas, race first, self-reliance, and self-determination. So when we're talking African nationalism, for us in the UNIA, I think when we're saying race first, we have to go back to the drawing board, to understand. Like we did a course with Our Lady President Diane on race first. And when you understand exactly what is meant by race first, you will be applying your approach, having at the back of your mind, that philosophy of race first. So, like I said earlier on, that as much as the UNIA come first, but we have our Black brothers and sisters out there. They are all African nationalism. They are all Africans. We all, belong to this African nationalism that we want to see. Wherever we are in the world, we are a nation there. And that's how when Lady President Diane mentioned something that we don't necessarily have to be in Africa. We can do it right here where we are in America. We can start up those Wall Streets right here like we had them before. When Garvey started them, we can reignite them. It doesn't necessarily have to be. So we are, wherever we are in the world, we are that government, wherever we are. And like our first Vice President, Brother Omesis, also mentioned something in that line, that it starts with us. Once we understand what it is to be a self-government, not a self-government, I'm sorry, to be our government of the UNIA, once we understand that, not a self-government like Brother Shams is his government of his own, but I'm talking about a UNIA government. We've been there since 1914. And we've done a lot of things, a lot of good things. And that's why the first video was to show how big we were, the big numbers we were. We were a big threat, to those who were in power then, those who saw us as a threat and accused our leader on something that he didn't do, on false accusations. And that's why he got pardoned last month by Biden. And that, for us, is a big deal because it shows that we can still bounce back to where we were then. We can still do those great things that he did. I don't know if I've gone maybe a little bit off track, but please bring me back on track, Dr. Zafia, if I did not answer you correctly.
Oh, gratitude. I'm just trying to say maybe something to talk about later. Just besides the standard UN recognized nations, right? Which we can just look up on the UN website to see which nations they recognize. They get to define nationhood when they put that list up. But if we want to self-determine, we could use that and some. We could say, okay, we know our people identify within these different, like European, mainstream society type nations. But then if we wanted to, we could go a next step and say, yes, we'll acknowledge that. But then again, we might have our own framing of what the different sub-nations are amongst the general members. I think it's called the general members, which is those of our people who are not officially in the UNIA globally, but we still consider them general members because they are our people. And then there's official members, those of us who officially register. And so, yes, amongst the general members, there are many sub-nationalities recognized by the UN, United Nations, but could there be other definitions of nations that we ourselves also apply? That these are organized groups. They have their own self-determination. They're just not recognized by the United Nations, but they might be recognized by us. And we might interact with them as one would, you would be the diplomat towards those different groups with the same identity as international organizer, is what I'm wondering.
Absolutely. For as long as they are human.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing it up. Absolutely. We stand for people.
Wonderful.
For human beings.
Great.
If we follow Garvey's philosophy and we treat people one God, one aim, one destiny.
If I may, Dr. Kuda.
Yes.
Dr. Zafia, let me take a shot at your question. From what I heard, the distinguishment between the mainstream definition of a nation and how the UNIA may identify a group as a nation. Is that?
Yes.
Okay. So the mainstream is also supported by Dr. Tony Martin in Race First. So he said this in the video. This is on Race First. What page is this? Page 227. Says adoption of this 1928 national line of the Communist International is usually presented as having proceeded from Stalin's famous definition of a nation. A nation is a historically evolved, stable community of language, territory, economic life, and
That's what I wrote.
psychological makeup manifested in a community of culture. So Dr. Tony Martin was using this as a way to compare mainstream's definition of a nation to the accomplishments that Mr. Garvey and the UNIA had achieved. But to answer your question directly, I think that's something that we still need to clearly define how we identify other groups as nations. For us locally here in Atlanta, well, at least for me and I can speak for my administration, it's fairly a liberal approach. We believe in self-determination, Kuji Chagalia. So we believe, we believe that there's many forms of a nation, and it can appear, differently. But what I would consider a society that comes together with the intentions of independence and nationhood can be considered a nation. And a couple examples that I would give: Nation of Islam I would consider them a nation. Moorish Science Temple could be considered a nation.
The Gullah Geechee people, some of their organized groups, right?
Yes, they could be considered a nation as well. So I think that's a great question, and that's something that we should probably clearly define. But locally, we're fairly liberal, and look at the actions of the group and the intentions of the group, and if it's based around independence and self-reliance, we can consider them a nation, an independent nation.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question.
Thank you, President John, for clarifying that.
No problem. No problem. Any other Dr. Shams? I see you got your hand up.
Yes, the self-government I have is a formation of an independent nation as well. And I offer an economic program that could perhaps help us, sustain a salary or be developed into a regular commission or what have you, so that people could be paid for the positions that they hold, the positions they're in, through the economic program I'm offering. Also be able for more people to pay dues, and as people get fired off of work due to Trump in the U.S., they could also find other work through the economic program that I offer as well. Black Power, Race First.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. Race First. All right, brothers and sisters, it is 7:22. We are getting late in the hour, and we have not had a chance for a member share. So I want to stop here for the topic. Lady President, are you available? Will you be able to, did you catch my chat?
Um,
Are you available to host member share?
sure, I can.
Thank you very much. If you would please start, sisters first, then brothers. Officers, y'all getting a pass tonight. Y'all think you can thank Dr. Kuda for her presentation, but no reports from officers. Will come back in March, and each officer will give a report from their office. But for now, we just give general membership unless there's something critical. So, Lady President, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, President John. Greetings again, everyone. I've shared a little before, a couple of times, so I won't share too much more. Just want to say great meeting. Great to have everyone on this call.
Lady President, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have one more announcement before just wanted to remind everyone dues, pay your dues. We're working on our financial report for finishing up January, and we're working on February. So reaching out to all officers, and we will be reaching out to members very soon to remind everyone to pay their dues. So that's all I've got. Thank you to all that are. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say that as well. I wanted to acknowledge those that have been dues paying members currently and have been for quite some time. Obviously, Ross Marvin, Lady President, Council General, Dr. Shams, name is always present for our financial report. Cornelius, Brother Cornelius is always there as well. Chaplain Mitchell, thank you. Your name has definitely been present on our financial report. Brother Malik, thank you. And Brother Malik, if you could, probably I'll need to 30 seconds to a minute after the call. Me, you, Lady President, and Ross Marvin. But thank you. Ra Ebony, longtime supporter. Brother Nkosi, thank you for a long time support. Sister Cecily, we got your dues that were sent through Cashapp. Dr. Kuda, thank you as well. Brother James, Brother Brandon, Sister Herlin, Sister Ma'at, Sister Sharon, Dr. Zafia is a supporter for 106. Brother Orman, another consistent dues paying member. So thank you, everybody. I'm preaching to the choir to an extent. But also, we do record these meetings and we share these meetings. So it's not just for us here, but also the viewing audience. Please make sure you are an active member. As Dr. Zafia said, we have ordinary members through blood and through race, and we have active members that contribute to the upkeep of the UNIA-ACL through our fund. So thank you. And Lady President, I'll hand it back to you, and I'm going to leave this up.
Thank you, President John. And while we're on the topic, I also want to let you know I send the balance of my dues, but I send it through Zelle, which I know is not really one of the channel. But I had your Zelle for something else, and I just sent it there, which would complete me for the year. I don't know if you received that earlier.
Yeah, I did get a weird payment. I didn't know who that was, so thank you. That helped. Very helpful, Lady President.
Thank you. Okay, so member share. I will call on Lady Vice President, Sister Cecily. Sister Cecily, are you on the call? Would you like to share?
Yes, Race First Family. Yes, I just want to encourage everybody to participate in the Economic Blackout Day, February 28th, if you can. Not much else to share at this time. Stay focused. Race First, fam.
Race First. Thank you, Lady First Vice President.
If you could, Sister Cecily, if you could put that in the chat for us, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. And Second Lady Vice President and international organizer, Dr. Kuda, would you like to share? I know you shared wonderfully before. Do you have anything in general to share?
No, thank you. I don't have anything to share. But from what Sister Cecily just shared, what's the blackout? Oh, she just put it in the chat. Okay, thank you. And then maybe just to add to that, I was listening to Roland Martin last night, and I remember I just see Sister Desiree is on. She's just sharing her new number, and I recall she was talking to me about the Targets and the Walmarts. And I think we will learn a lot from Roland Martin if you maybe watch his YouTube video with regard to Black businesses who are having, their products in places like Target and what it costs them for them to boycott. So I just want to make us aware as Africans, that if we have our businesses out there, what we should be advocating for and what we should be boycotting and what we should not be boycotting. Thank you. I just found it interesting when I was listening to Roland Martin yesterday on his show on YouTube when he was, and the lady who also came on was a businesswoman, and she was explaining what it would cost her if she were to remove her products from the shelves. And let's say Target, there's 500 branches, and removing all of products from those 500 branches will be killing her business. So sometimes we need to be clear when we are boycotting as to what is the end goal, what is it that we want at the end of the day when we're talking about boycotting these stores, and what does it mean for our people who have businesses in these big corporations, and how is that going to kill our Black people's businesses in these big corporations? Thank you.
If I may, Lady President, yes, very well said, Dr. Kuda. I am a fan and a supporter of organizing, working together, and bringing our economics or pulling our economics from a program. But yes, we should all just make sure we're on target and we are achieving the goals that we are seeking to achieve. So let's just do our investigation when these types of things are brought up and make sure that again it's in alignment with our goals. But thank you, Dr. Kuda. Thank you, Sister Cecily, and I believe Brother Cornelius also mentioned the blackout or the boycott.
Yes, President John, if I may add,
Yes.
when it comes to the boycott and you read the details, it says the exception is if you're spending on a Black business, then you can spend on those days. So that's what I got to understand from the information I received about
I got you. We always want to support our people. Let's just be clear on the strategy to keep our funds from others. But we also, as Dr. Kuda mentioned, we must also understand that a lot of our people are dependent upon these other systems. So when we pull our funds out, it can unintendedly have a negative effect on our people. So that's all. Lady President, you have it.
Yes, because we're so tangled up and we need to have our own and create our own and rebuild the Black Wall Streets. But anyway, thank you all for that. And continuing with Members Chair Sister Ra Ebony, if you're still on the call, great having you on the call. Would you like to share?
Yes, greetings, family again. Greetings 421 family and UNIA family across the way. I am Sister Ebony Ashley, lead organizer, lead president of Division 83, Delaware. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having Mass Meeting President John. I I I don't want to come on to this mass meeting and say too much, but it's a pleasure working with Division 421. The Division 83, we have a lot of things in store. We want Division 421 included every step of the way. Like I said, we are working to make Division 421 the educational hub, meaning where this is where we'll come and for the first I say 6 months to the year, my new members will come and experience the mass meetings and the reading sessions and the different things that we do in Division 421. So I'm looking forward to introducing uh, the members, the new members in Delaware and surrounding areas, to the UNIA-ACL experience and what's to come. We've been having meetings and discussions about the Garvey pardon and how we are working towards the exoneration. And we're very excited about that and the works that are to come with that. Again, congratulations to Dr. Kuda for her international commitment to our people and wanting to see everyone grow as a people and uniting. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Looking forward to the works in Burkina Faso. I was just on a meeting there. Very, very inspirational. Like I said, Dr. Cool, we got a lot of work to do, girl. I've been working, so I'm glad that you're in your position. Cause man, this is exciting. So that's all I just wanted to say. Race first. Keep up the good work, everyone. Like I said, I'm working on the website now myself. Should be up now. I just got my division number last night, actually, so it's just right on time. And I'm working on the website, so I'll give that communications to uh, President Hargrove, and he'll distribute that out to you all. And I look forward to doing great works with each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you all in March. In March. Announcement. Huh?
April for HEC.
Now, HEC, we have an event in March coming up that I wanted to announce. We have the Messiah movie filming. I need 4 brothers from this division. I need 4. They were requesting 4 UNIA-ACL Atlanta Division brothers. President John, I will hope that you will want to participate. But I need 4 brothers that will be available March 23rd. The attire is black suits. It's a presentation. They want you all to be a part of the presentation, the Garvey presentation, because the person who starred in the Messiah film, Samuel Lee Fudge, he's going to be there in a representation of Garvey, and they want to give like this this big presentation, and it's going to be really amazing. So on March 23rd, Big Bethel Church in Atlanta, Georgia, be there. I'm going to be there all the way from Wilmington, Delaware. We're going to bring people from. I'm see if I can get Baltimore and New York and DC to come because it's going to be a really grand event. So don't miss it. It's like 22 people on the call right now. I need to see all of you there, but I need 4 gentlemen from the membership from this call to
Send me that info,
volunteer.
Ryan Ebony.
Okay, cool, Brother Malik. I'll reach out to you. Anybody else? I need 3 more brothers real quick. Don't all speak at one time.
I'll be there.
President John. Okay, bet. Can I get 2 more? James from LaGrange. Okay, can I get 1 more?
Uh, I can't guarantee the 4th.
Need a 4th one. That's all right. I'm gonna press. I'm gonna put some pressure on you. That's all right. Atlanta's my home division, and I know how to work, y'all. So I just wanted to go ahead and just make that announcement. But March 23rd, be there, be there, be there, everybody. I want you to be there. Dr. Kuda, I know you in Staten Island. I know that's gonna be something, but don't worry. I keep stuff recorded. For you, special lady. But everybody else, no excuses. I want to see you there. This is going to be a grand event. Like, it's going to be really great. We have people from all over, internationally coming in to support this particular production of Garvey and Big Bethel in Atlanta. So get excited, get pumped. You know how I am, and I want to see you there. I want to see you in your Garvey spirit, in your grandest Garvey spirit. So that's all I want to say. Thank you, Hargrove, for having me. Thank you for letting me speak. Race first, everybody. I love you.
Race first. We love
Race
you too.
first. And thank you for that, Lady President Ra Ebony. And congratulations on your new role as the Lady President of the Delaware Division. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President. I'm so sorry. One more thing. I was just saying, I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize. I was just saying that somebody asked, how can you watch a Messiah movie? It's on Prime. So if you have Prime on your app, your smart TVs on your phone or whatever, Go watch it on Prime, the Messiah movie. Go ahead and get acquainted. So March 23rd, you'll already know what's to come. Okay, back to you, Lady President. Sorry about that. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for that again. And speaking of Burkina Faso, I did forward an email I'd gotten. I was on a meeting yesterday. An organization called ADDI was hosting a meeting pertaining to the president of Burkina Faso offering citizenship to folks in the diaspora. The first call that they did on it, which was last week, had like over 1,000 people. They exceeded the Zoom, and so they had a bigger Zoom this Saturday, and it continues. So that's the ADDI website to get more details on that. Thank you for mentioning Burkina Faso, Lady President Raya. Okay, and so moving right along, is Sister Desiree on the call with us today?
Race first.
Race first. Sister Desiree, would you like to member share?
Okay, so as far as dealing with the corporation, taking products and stuff out the store, okay, so within war, there's always going to be casualties, right? And we have to understand that, first of all, it comes back to us as self-determination that we have to, if you look at the background of Target alone, they turn around and stereotype the people that actually apply for applications with Target, let alone Walmart, all the tragedies that they have done to brothers and sisters just alone shopping there. Now, on the upside, just like you have the Garvey Nation page, brothers and sisters can take those same products, because if you say you're going in the store to buy black, right? But you're going in the oppressor store dealing with the corporation. And mind you, this same corporation is the same corporation that day in and day out works their damnedest to kill you. And that corporation is also included when it comes to education, when it comes to the hospitals, when it comes to our grocery stores and everything else. So you turn around and you take your product out of the store. Brothers and sisters should be willing to take their product out of the store and formulate their own store, or put their products in a black-owned store, and you still can purchase the same product. Okay, February 28th, you having a blackout. All right, that's one day. We should have blackout and go back to the Buy Black Coalition 365 days. It is time for us to get off the plantation, okay? And to be free and have self-determination. Race first, Black power.
Race first, and thank you for that, Sister Desiree. Okay, next up we have Sister Herlin. Are you on the call? The floor is yours for member share. Is Sister Herlin on the call? If not, we'll circle back.
Okay, greetings. Here I am. I had to take greetings.
Greetings.
Peace and blessings. Can y'all hear me?
Greetings, Sister Herlin. Welcome to the call. Great to have you.
Yeah, same here. How y'all doing this evening?
Wonderful.
Well, I would just want to say something. Y'all know I'm working on a breakfast program for these children to try to feed them spiritually, physically, and healthy. So and it's gonna be the Ghetto Youth Program. So if y'all say y'all for the people, it start with these babies, because we got to start teaching them who they are, to know thyself, because that's what we standing on, know thyself, right? So if anybody want to be part of that, you can reach out to me. because that's the revolution. The children is the revolution. Y'all don't get that. We can do everything in the world, but the order to build, we got to build with the generation coming up. So because when we leave here, the next generation is going to have to know how to hold this up. And the youth is so lost. They lost sheep right now. Because what they got is what they got. We got to start teaching them, feed them spiritually, learn them how to feed themselves right. And there's some kids don't get emotional support at home. They sometimes don't even get food at home. Some kids, when they go to school, they free a little bit, you know. So my thing is it's always the women and the children. Because for the nation to rise, it got to rise with the woman. In order to rise with the woman, I got to go to the babies first to teach them. So if anybody want to be a part of creating this program, and just because I'm creating it, but anybody want to be part of it, but come and bring what they know and teach these children. If y'all about that revolution, because that's the real revolutions is the kids. Because if you notice, the Black Panthers focus on the children. They focus on the children. That's why they had the breakfast program. That's why they had the lunch program. But they just weren't giving out food. They was teaching. You know, that was the revolution. Why you think they killed Fred Hampton? Because Fred Hampton was reaching the youth, the next generation. They don't want, that's why Bob Marley said, I shot the sheriff. I didn't shoot the sheriff, I shoot the deputy, because every time I try to grow my seeds, they kill them before they grow. They don't want the next generation to grow. And we got to grow that next generation in order to build our nation. Then we keep forgetting about this youth. That's why we got all this killing out here, because ain't nobody grabbing the youth. They focus on everything but this youth. And that's what I'm focused on. I was that youth. So if anybody really about the revolution, let me know. Because that's the real revolution. It's the youth. And my thing is the ghetto youth, because that's what we are. That's what I am, the ghetto youth. Always have and always be the ghetto youth.
Thank you for that, Sister Harlan. Definitely.
I just got one more thing to say too. Blessings to the Empress in their positions. I don't really know y'all like that, but I still want to send blessings to y'all positions. And it's good to see women take their position, because it's time for the women to take their position. This nation nothing ain't gonna stop till the women take their position. It's time for the truth for all set. It's time for the women is the gods and come stand forward. You know, so because the women always been on the front line, because we the teachers. So I give thanks for that, to see women in position. And I do want to comment on the sister was speaking on how, because this right here has been irking my nerves, and I'm gonna get this out, because I'm tired of hearing Black people talking about the president pardon Marcus Garvey like it's a badge of honor, and it's not. It's a slap in the face to Marcus Garvey. He's dead. How you gonna pardon somebody? Anything, they should exonerate him on all false charges. All false charges. And this goes with a quote with Malcolm X is, they'll give you a symbolic of a victory, but they won't give you justice. And they didn't give Marcus Garvey justice. They just gave him a symbolic of a victory, a slap in the face. And we got to quit being grateful for them symbolics of victory, okay? Marcus Garvey should have been exonerated. He still got charges on him. That's just like they was going to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill, but she's still on the most wanted list. Man, you got to free your man up. Don't praise that devil for nothing, because they ain't going to give you nothing. They didn't give Marcus Garvey justice. They just gave him a symbolic of a victory. That's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face. We shouldn't be happy with that. We should tell them to kick rocks with that. What about exonerating them all them false charges they put him on? What about they killed him? Don't we know they killed Marcus Garvey? The same people that killed him, they pardoned him, and we supposed to be happy about that? No, I can't never be happy about that because that's the rebel in me. I'm unapologetic. That's why my ancestors sent me.
Thank you for that, Sister Desiree, and thank you for. Were you finished? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm finished. Peace and blessings. But
Peace
I'm gonna put my information in this chat. And anybody real about this revolution, hit me up so we can go out here and get these babies out here, cause they dying in the street, and we sitting over here talking about how we gonna raise this nation. Till we save these babies, we ain't gonna have no nation, cause they killing them. They killing us one by one.
Yes, Sister Desiree, that is so true.
No, this is Sister Hurling. This ain't Sister Desiree.
I'm sorry, Sister Hurling. Thank you for that. And please put your information in the chat. And we want to honor you too for taking a stand for our youth. I was just listening to Whitney Houston's song earlier today that the children is our future. We have to teach them well and let them lead the way and show them everything that they possess inside. I always love that song. And also in reference to the pardon, from the get-go, our President General has stood up and in a meeting, I don't know if everyone got it, but in a meeting, he said that we can't celebrate the pardon because an exoneration is what is required. And there's some of us on this call that are leading that effort, that I don't want to say fight, but for lack of a better word, also leading that fight to make sure that Mr. Garvey is properly exonerated and not just a little pardon, like he got.
You know what? We got to stop begging from our enemy too. Stop begging from them. We gonna see to go to them to ask them to pardon, to exonerate Marcus Garvey. Hell, they killed Marcus Garvey, so why would they exonerate him? They killed him. He died of an aneurysm. They poisoned him, and you know how they? You know why I know they did it? Because they did Dr. Khalid Muhammad like that. He died of an aneurysm. It repeats itself. The devil repeats his patterns and we don't even see it. Just like they had the truth in our face and we couldn't see it through a lie. The whole time they was washing up a black woman and gave us a white man. You get what I'm saying? So why are we gonna stand up against the white man, the enemy, and tell them to exonerate Michael? They ain't gonna exonerate him. They don't care about Marcus Garvey. They killed him. They jailed him for and they don't care about him. You want him to be exonerated, then you got to stand up and fight and exonerate him yourself. You got to exonerate him yourself out yourself.
And we will.
Already exonerated. He was a prophet. He's exonerated because we his exoneration. You want to exonerate him, keep his legacy going on. Keep it real. Stop bullshitting. Keep it 100. Be gangster out here. Marcus Garvey was gangster. Marcus Garvey got out here and called people imbeciles. Quit sugarcoating stuff. You want to exonerate them from the heart. Stop begging your enemy to see you equal, because they ain't. When we gonna learn that? I'm tired of black folks begging the enemy. And I'm like Desiree, we gonna boycott one day, but don't boycott nothing. Y'all want to boycott something? Walk off on them damn jobs. Shit. Quit working for their ass. I don't even want to think about a damn job. Every time I think about a job, I want to go in there with a pistol and put somebody on the ground and rob their ass for my ancestors. So if you want to tolerate for Marcus Garvey, keep his legacy rolling. I talk about Marcus Garvey every day to anybody I see and hear. I'm on a train talking about Marcus Garvey. Because the enemy ain't going to give you nothing. The devil ain't going to give you nothing. You keep begging the devil to see you equal. You living in the belly of the beast. Don't y'all get that? You got to go. You got to, like Nina Simone say, you want freedom, you got to take it. Because a quote from Nina Simone, she said, our people is willing to die, but ain't willing to kill. And that means we keep laying down, begging our enemy. We're going to keep begging them to exonerate Marcus Garvey. Shit, exonerate Marcus Garvey yourself. Just like Saudi Shakur, she got herself out of prison. She got busted out. And we still talking about free H. Rat Brown to the government they don't give a shit about H. Rat Brown. You want them out, go out there and bust them out yourself. We got to go hard in the paint. We got to wake up. We can't keep sitting down talking about what we going to do. We got to be about action. You can't keep begging your enemy. The same people got you bonded. You think they going to let you free? What Frederick Douglass said, only a slave sits and wait for somebody to free him. We sitting and wait them to free Marcus Garvey. Free him yourself. Shit.
Thank you, Sister Hurlin. For the sake of time, Lady President, I think we need to.
Okay, I'm done.
It looks like
Thank
Sister
you for that.
Desiree has a hand up.
Thank you for standing for
Yeah,
our
so I
children.
want to counter back on that. And yeah, so a quote from the Black Art of War, it said, today the enemy has a name for me, and it's called Target. Tomorrow I will teach him a new name for me, and it will be Master. And when she was talking about the feminine energy that is coming in now, as well as the blood moon is coming in, so you're going to have that feminine energy. And that feminine energy is not planned whatsoever. And like she said, it's time for us as women to get back on the throne where we are supposed to be on, right? We are the teachers, the agricultures, and everything else. We are. The man has his role that he's supposed to do, and we sit around here and we generate our minds in this patriotic system. But you cannot have that system if you did not have us as women to even begin the system, because you cannot have life without having me. Right? And there was a time when, go back and do the research, where the energy was so strong that we did not need the sperm. Right? But you turn around and you degrade the woman and make her feel like she's a lesser of value and no appreciation. And that is inhumane altogether. Right? And when it came to the movement in the Black Panther Party, it was majority women, not men. It was majority women. And if you go back in history, it was the woman who took the time out to put the man on the throne, to assist her and help her in ways that she couldn't help herself. And we had to turn around and come up with our own army, our own military, and everything else. Right? You take these examples from the oppressor. They beat their women in the head, drag them on the ground by their hair and everything else. Right? It's time for us to stop begging. Stop begging. Stop asking. It's time for us to take back what is rightfully ours. And it was ours in the beginning. They the one who stole it. They the ones that's the thieves. They the ones that's the niggas. They the niggas. The troglodyte are the niggas. We are not the niggas. They the niggas. They are the inhumane.
Sister Desiree.
They are the one that bring disease and stuff to us. They the ones. They created all this famine. And then you gonna worry about taking your product out they store. F them and they store. We get our own stores like we did. We always had our own. We never depended on anybody else. We never did as a people. We never did. We didn't even ask them jokers to come to the motherland. Black power, race first.
Black power, race first. Thank you for that, Sister Desiree.
Hey, I just got one more thing. It's just on Marcus Garvey. You want to know how the Trinity is the Semitic woman? Because Osset, listen, Marcus Garvey wasn't nothing but Osset in the flesh. She took her energy and flipped it into Marcus Garvey. That's why he's known as the prophet. And when I say his prophecy is coming now, it's coming to pass right now. And that's why they couldn't do nothing to Marcus Garvey. That's why they got him on mail fraud. What's mail fraud? I don't even know what mail fraud is. Shit, they couldn't get mail back in the day, no damn way. So how the hell you get them on mail fraud? And then for one, Marcus Garvey, you see, people really don't understand what Marcus Garvey prophecy was. He stood for Black economics, right? He came over here from Jamaica. He the only person came and fought for us. That's why I love Africa, but people be standing for Africa. Africa didn't, ain't nobody. Marcus Garvey's the only one that came over here and tried to help us. Do y'all get that? And this is how you know he was a well-known he was a prophet. He was King David, and he was King David. And he came over here and slew Goliath. And y'all don't even see it because at the end of the day, they couldn't do nothing with him. They couldn't do nothing with him. And this is what he prophesied. He kept speaking on Black economics for us to come, like Desiree said, the hell with their products and this and that. And the reason why Marcus Garvey kept coming, speaking on Black economics and kept pushing that, because in the scripture, God told Israel to trade amongst themselves. We weren't supposed to work for these people. We wasn't supposed to work for these people. Don't you get that? We ain't supposed to be on this land. We were supposed to leave here. The story of Daniel and Meshach, after they served the Babylon king, they went back home. But the Crusades and the Arabs made a deal, and they made it where Israel got lost, where they couldn't find their way home. That's why we still lost to this day. Don't even know where the hell we at. We don't even know where the hell we at. We probably sitting in Egypt now and don't even know it because they messed us up. We messed up. But like Desiree said, that damn store and all that, I don't care about all that. But at the end of the day, that's how strong that Marcus Garvey was. That's how you know the Semitic woman is the Trinity, because Osset, ISIS did is traded her energy into Marcus Garvey. That's what Marcus Garvey was. He was the walking energy on this earth. That's what y'all don't get, how strong. That's what y'all don't get. I know it. I know it. That's why God is always going to be exonerated. That's why that fire was going in LA. And everybody, I wasn't praying for their asses because I knew that was the sword. And the Most High said, I come with no peace. I send my sword, and they couldn't put it out. Whoever's going to get saved is going to get saved. That was prophecy, you know? Because when that fire started in California, it started around the time the birthday of the young girl, Latasha, where they agent killed her, and they let that agent off.
Latasha Harlan.
Yes. And when them fires started, it started on her birthday, 1st of January, her birthday, January the 2nd. They gonna have to, I'm telling you what I know. Y'all really don't understand what's really in our face. They gave us a white man and worshiped a Black woman. Marcus Garvey was the walking Black woman. Marcus Garvey was the cub that Osset sent, the lioness sent her cub out here. That's why Marcus Garvey is so strong on economics, and we don't get it. We ain't got shit. Until we get that. Get that and get the hell out of the belly up, because I kick the belly of the beast in the stomach every day. The gludge take me out of here. We got to get the hell out the belly of the beast, and that's what Marcus Garvey was coming to get us, the belly of the beast. Hell, Marcus Garvey never made it to Africa. Shit.
Well, thank you,
And if
Sister
he
Helen.
was,
We need to wrap this up. We need to close out.
Yes.
Marcus Garvey was here now and see how Africa is, he probably be pissed the hell off. He probably go down there and
Y'all
take
mute
his
this.
flag.
Sister Helen, thank you. We got some other people that haven't had a chance to share yet. We'd like to continue with member share.
Thank you for that, Sister Harlem. We are in the belly of the beast for a certainty. Okay, as we continue with member share, Sister Sharon, if you're on the call, the floor is yours.
Race first. Can you hear me?
Race first, Sister Sharon. Thank you for being on the call.
Yes, I am a new member and I am learning. So you have to give me a little bit of time on comments because I'm listening to everybody and I'm learning. So thank you all and race first.
Race first, Sister Sharon. Thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome.
on the call. And we hope to see you on future calls.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Lady President, if I may. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sister Sharon. Member share, just generally for future reference. Member share is just, and you probably were honest in what you were saying. You were just here to learn and nothing to add or nothing to comment. Member share is open, doesn't necessarily have to be on the topic that's discussed. It can be anything that you wish. If there's some news that you saw, a business or a topic that you want to promote, you have that opportunity. So just for future reference, member share is open topic, open discussion.
Okay, I appreciate that. As you know, brother, I do have a business. It's called Kemet Pillows. I've tried to send you a couple of videos so that I could showcase my business a little bit. But if you are interested in supporting a sister, I'm on Instagram at Kemet Pillows. And I have beautiful pillows in red, black, and green. I have Marcus Garvey pillows. I have a Black History line that I just put out. So I do try to support the community in my way. So thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you for that. And please share your, if you would like, you can share your Instagram link in the chat so that we can check you out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Kemet Pillows. Okay, so I've got iPhone and I've got Mahat and Arkat. And I'm not sure if these are sisters or brothers, iPhone and Mahat. If we are complete, if there are any...
This is my
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a strong, powerful revolutionary, and I think we need to get out here and fight for our people by any means necessary, and that.
You're breaking up, Sister Mahat.
Out here to fight, but we got to all fight this war out here together. The war they got going on, not our war. We got to fight them. So we got to get out here and fight by any means necessary. That means get armed before you get harmed. Race first and Black power.
Race first and Black power. Thank you for sharing, Sister Mahat. And if there are any other sisters on the call that have not called on, please feel free. Unmute yourself and share. Okay, I believe we've heard from all the sisters. And let's now open the floor to our brothers. And President John, if you would like to member share, the floor is yours.
I usually reserve for the end, but I'll share briefly. Um, just in regards to the discussion, the sentiment that has returned to my mind is the concept of I guess a civil war is the best way of thinking about it. But it'll be a confrontation internally amongst us as a people. Um, One will be, from us pulling away from the United States powers, and then the second will be the unification of the continent. I think in both of those instances, we will have brothers and sisters that look like us that will disagree with our position and choose to maintain the status quo. So one thing that I was just thinking as we were talking about, the concept of the boycott in addition to supporting Black businesses, and it's not a question for us to answer right now, but just a question for us to think about. And that is, um, how do we deal with Black businesses that are um, sold or promoted by white businesses. So if I owned a shampoo or whatever, and it was being sold at Target or Walmart, um, how is that viewed in from a revolutionary standpoint? Is it promoted as, we should support this Black business, or is it hey, we could do better and support or develop our own markets. So that's the thing that's coming to my mind when we talk about, supporting is I'm looking forward to that discussion of encouraging our brothers and sisters to pull away from um, the dominant society, and establish our own markets and networks for ourselves. But other than that, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone for paying dues and supporting Mr. Garvey and the UNIA. We're having a good year. I'm looking forward to the year. Thank you, Lady President, for carrying on the membership. And thank you, Dr. Kuda, for stepping up as international organizer. So I could be thanking everybody all night. Of course, President Ross, our elders, Attorney Emotep, Brother Orman. Just looking forward to the year, and thank you everybody for being on.
Thank you for that, President John. And there are some more brothers on our call that hasn't shared, so I'll continue with the member share by calling on Ross. President Ross Marvin, if you're on the call with us still, the floor is yours. Your mic was a little low the last time, so if you could turn it up a little bit, that'll be helpful as well.
Yes, greetings, family. Greetings, family. It's good to hear from everyone. Say race first. Big up, Sister Sharon. I think I had a chance to meet her at our last event over at Omanala, the farming event, and I seen some of her pillows. They're very excellent item, the red, black, and green items. So I think, Sister Sharon, you're so deep in the red, black, and green that you should be a member of Division 421.
I am a member.
What?
Yes.
President John, what member number is Sister Sharon? Because I didn't have her member number up there.
Give me a second. Yeah, Sharon, I'm Sister Frierson. Yeah, she's a member. Give me a second.
Okay, because I didn't know her member number and it wasn't shown from this side. So I didn't know what to do still, But thank you for being a member.
You're welcome.
Y'all, we gotta support Sister Sharon. She's a member, dues paying member, active member. So definitely, Sister Sharon, you're just on Instagram. I see your Instagram and your email and thing. The other thing I wanted to say is that congratulations to our new international organizer, Dr. Kuda, and wishing you all the success in your position. to manifest all the aims and objects of your office. Appreciate that. And also, I want to say big ups to all the sisters. We have a lot of sisters on the call tonight. You know what I'm saying? So we give thanks to our sisters there in the movement. And another thing I want to say is that, as President John say, members share is for everyone to share and be a part of the meeting. But do remember, everyone, we have guidelines for the member share that deals with certain things, like no cursing and this and that, along with a time limit. So please be aware of the conference call guidelines that's published each week in the Whirlwind newsletter. If you don't know what they are, just check out the Whirlwind newsletter and you'll see them. I want to say big up to our president, doing hard work, President John. You know, say we're all in support of our president. And big up to Brother James Avery, who for, I know the whole month of February, all of our events, he's been on the scene helping out. I don't know why Brother James is not an officer, but he's moving like he's an officer, and really appreciate that, Brother James, you know, from Iman Ras Marvin. And big up to everyone else on the call. I want to say race first and stick with us throughout the year as we grow in Division 421.
Thank you, President
Big
Ross.
up.
Briefly, Lady President. Yeah, Brother James, that's a big compliment coming from Ross Marvin, the first president of Division 421. And Brother James is working behind the scenes on introducing himself as an officer. Yeah, so look forward to that, officers. He's studying the Constitution, studying our bylaws, but I look forward to introducing him to the executive body. And there was something else you had said, President Ryan. Oh, Sister Sharon, I found her correspondence, so I'll forward that to you. She signed up through email, so I got to print out her information.
Race first.
Thank you. Lady President, you got it.
Thank you, President John. Big up President Ross. And as we continue with the member share, Brother Imhotep, if you're on the call, the floor is yours. Unmute yourself, Brother Imhotep. The floor is yours. Okay, we'll come back to Brother Imhotep. I'm not sure if he's still on the call. Dr. Shams, if you're still on the call, unmute yourself and member share.
Black Power race first. Black Power race first. Yes, we must be aware. We must take in heavy, in total and enlightened and heavy consideration the things that the U.S. Trump is doing as far as laying our people off of work, firing people for no reason, and etc. The reason I'm saying that is because my economic program, which I support, and I hope I could get support here, support me as I support you all, is going to come in handy. So don't pass it by. For those who are losing jobs, there might be something there that you could pick up on, and it'll tide you over, to carry you through the economic stress that we're going to have to go through. And he ain't done cutting programs. He's just waiting on court decisions to see if he could cut more. And I tell you, I have some things on my economic program that's actually from the European. But the thing of it is that the European has everything right now. But I have black business on there too. Black people business is on my economic program. The Black Expose, The Black Expose, Worldwide Global Expose of Black people working together globally worldwide is on my economic program. And I hope that it can help someone gain access instead of going crazy. We spoke about our youth. Our youth is the main ones that's used to sticking up, selling drugs, prostituting, and everything else just to make a dollar. And if they don't have jobs out here, it would be better for them to go to an economic program like I have on my site, Not Helpful USA Legislation People.bravesites.com. And I put various direct links in the chat also, the specific links there. I put my phone number there in case anyone needs to call me for any navigation problems or any other problems you might have with the site, which is 1917-500-1699. As far as picking up and training and teaching our youth, let's train them and teach them how to make some honest money under what Trump is trying to do to all of our people right now. Let's have them go to the economic program instead of going into crimes and destroying themselves, for a dollar. And support me like I support you. Black Power race first.
Black Power race first. Thank you for that, Dr. Shams. Black Power race first, and thank you. Okay. Please note, everyone, Dr. Shams' information in the chat. Okay. Next up, we have Brother Ormond. Brother Ormond, if you're still on the call, please unmute yourself. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Greetings, family. Race first. Plenty of information this evening. I don't really have much to offer at this time, but I would like to thank Dr. Kuda for making that great undertaking that she has embarked upon, because it's necessary for this time and date. Race first.
But I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What were your thoughts or takeaways from the meeting with the South Fulton mayor?
He's trying to do a good work in the space that's available to him, but he has many odds against him. But I just found out something today from my daughter, because the company that she works for is very involved in developing South Fulton. And I see what he's up against, because it's the Chick-fil-A family who's running everything over there. And they're building, matter of fact, she's a part of that building program that they have going on over there. So he's got an uphill battle in front of him. He has great intentions, and he has African people first, which is one of the problems that I think the people who are supposed to be supporting him has. And the Dashiki, I don't think they quite understand that either. So, but they did elect him. And when he went to Africa, I think he got encouragement over there. And so he is going to run again. The people will support him. Hopefully the people will support him and return him to office. But as he pointed out, they have taken all of his powers away because they've created this managerial government, which is created back when Black people became mayors of cities back in the 60s and 70s. They took the power away from the elected official and put it in the hands of a few people. And the Europeans have a great plan for South Fulton, and it's predominantly Black. As he said, it's supposed to be the Blackest city in the country, and they don't want to see it succeed. So he has an uphill battle. He's a good brother, solid brother. And I think if with the support of the people, he can be successful. So I'm keeping my eyes on it. And I work with the commissioner in Clayton, and I spoke with her the other day. She's familiar with him. and some of the problems that he's going through. So I try to stay abreast of all that. But anyway, in short, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Orman.
Thank
for
you,
the-
Brother Moore, for being on the call with us today, and thank you for sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
Next up, we have Chaplain Mitchell. Chaplain Mitchell, please unmute yourself. You're on the call with us still. Chaplain Mitchell. We'll come back to Chaplain Mitchell. Next up is Second Vice President, Brother Malik. Brother Malik, if you're on the call, unmute yourself and share.
Pay your dues. Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
Brother Malik, thank you for being on the call with us today. Let's see, Nkosi. Nkosi, if you're still on the call with us, please unmute yourself and member share.
Brother Nkosi, you there?
Yes. And that person will tell
Back to
you
Brother Nkosi if we got time.
First, all I wanted to say was to the officers of the UNIA and I would say all officers of all African and Black organizations, associations, guerrilla groups, grassroots groups. I mean, even to the ones that we would consider anti-productive. I want to say thank you to you, to all the African peoples and all the African elements of the world, of the galaxy. I want to say a mandala to you, and a mandala to the African mothers, a mandala to the African fathers, here, there, everywhere. There are predecessors and the ones that's presently here now, and also the future African mothers and fathers, a mandala to you. May Asi Aduru forever give strength and nurturance and good speech to the African male juvenile delinquents. And I want to say thank you to Anyame, the creator, the architect of the cosmos. I want to say thank you to Anyame for allowing the awareness of upward mobility to all nationless, homeless Africans, African peoples, and African elements of the world, and of the galactic clusters. I want to say a mandala to the African males, and a clarion call to the African males to eradicate terrorization and femicide to all the African women, the African females, the African ladies, and to the African infants, to the African cubs, to the Black children of the world. Sharply, as Listerville Middleton has said and continues to his words reverberate today. They must sharpen their eyes and tune their ears so they know what they see and understand what they hear. A mandala to the African political prisoners, and a mandala to the African Black worldview. I want to say thank you to that. Thank you to the African political prisoners, and thank you to the Black worldview, the African worldview that we have and that we got to nurture and we got to continuously develop. And Madase Asante, thank you. And Lou to continue for this moment to share this. Thank you to the UNIA and Ashe. Race first race.
Race first, Ashe, and thank you.
Give thanks, Brother
Nkosi. Thank you for being on the call. Thank you for sharing. Amandla. Okay.
Amandla.
Yeah, that's how I looked it up. Power, right?
That way too.
Amandla.
That way too. Power is ours. Thank you, Brother Nkosi.
Yes.
Thank you, Lady President. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. Thank you.
Powerful.
Next up, we have Brother James. Brother James, if you're still on the call, unmute yourself and share. Brother James, unmute yourself if you're still on the call with us. If not, we will come back.
I'm here. I appreciate for being here. I don't know. I'm just saying I appreciate everything and opportunity to be a part of the UNIA race first.
Race first. Thank you, Brother James, for sharing, and thank you for being on the call with us today. Okay. So we did not hear from Brother Emotep. Not sure if Brother Emotep and Chaplain Mitchell is still on the call.
Yes, Brother Imhotep here.
Yes, I
Go
am.
ahead, Emotep. The floor is yours for member share.
Attorney Imhotep first. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Race first. Just briefly, today is Dr. W.B. Du Bois's birthday, February 23rd, 1868. And I was just thinking of the President General Michael Duncan's thoughts on Du Bois here, Marcus Garvey's nemesis, great nemesis, and it wasn't very high thoughts of him at all. And I can appreciate the President General's sentiments here, but I just wanted to note it here. And thank you, Race First.
Thank you, Brother Emotep. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being on the call with us today. Great to have you on the call. Okay. Moving right along.
I think Chaplain Mitchell was there.
Yes, Chaplain Mitchell, please unmute
Yes.
yourself.
Yes. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have much to share. I'm just going to tune in and listen. I hope everyone is doing well.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Chaplain Mitchell. Thank you for joining us on the call today. Great to have you. Okay. Brother Brandon R., please unmute yourself for member share if you're still on the call.
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't know. This is like a government issued laptop I got from school. I wasn't sure if the microphone even worked, but yeah, I'm here. I enjoyed this session, this meeting with everybody. So glad to be here. It's been a long time since I heard from a lot of people. But I thank God for each and every one of you. You know, I'm so glad that this organization exists and that we are moving forward as a race to be independent, you know, like away from everything else, and just be happy with ourselves and rely on ourselves. It's just an awesome thing. It's one step at a time. I just thank each and every one of you for your efforts, you know, taking so much progress each and every day towards this goal. And I thank you for letting me be a part of this. So keep up the good work. Thank you for educating me and enlightening me in all these ways. I love every meeting I attend. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you
Race
for
first.
that.
Thank you, Brother Brandon. Race first.
Brother Brandon. We thank God for you too. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being on the call.
For sure.
Brother Vincent, if you're on the call, please unmute yourself for member share. Please unmute yourself, Brother Vincent, if you're still on the call. Brother Vincent may have dropped off the call. Outside of that, if there are any brothers on the call that I've not called on, please unmute yourself and share. I see an iPhone. I'm not sure who iPhone is.
I think that was Sister Aziza.
Okay. Did we skip Sister Aziza? Sister Aziza still on the call with us?
No, she's not.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, if everyone has had a chance to share, I think we're done with members share. I see Brother Nkosi, your hand is raised, or was that from before?
Race first, no, that was thank you for this opportunity again. No, it was for now. I wanted to ask about if there any other way beyond the meta universe platform, social media platform.
Hard to hear you, Brother Nkosi.
You probably have some background sound. We didn't hear you that well, Brother Nkosi.
Guys, I wanted to know if there was any if there is any other methods for acquiring the recorded meetings beyond the meta universe platforms. That would be the beyond YouTube and Facebook. Is there any other avenues to acquire the recorded the unrestricted, the ones the ones that a regular, if I apologize for the phrasing, but a regular member could a regular member could acquire, so they can have in their own personal storage.
Brother Nkosi, in general, the answer
that was it. That race first, and I yield.
Yes. Great question, Brother Nkosi. In general, the answer to that would be no. What you're asking for is, to my understanding, unedited versions of our mass meetings. And that is not something that we share. Outside of attending the meeting live, the only way that we currently have access to uh, these sessions is through YouTube. We don't have any secondary or what should be primary editing service outside of what we consider the metaverse and Google.
So what about, is it any way, once a regular member has the capabilities, once they're good and well standing, by way, by way of the Constitution, by way of the officer standard of, being a well standing member. Once a member has involved themselves fluently with all, for a reasonable number of activities, and dues are paid, just they well standing is a way that they could actually bring their own personal hard drive and receive and actually get a transfer of the unrestricted meetings that instead of, because I mean, I would like to limit downloading from these websites, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to give the beast, the devil, Baphomet, any type of avenues of approach to try to eradicate my my luta continua, my free standing. So I just want to know if there's any other, that's why I wanted to know if there's any other avenues that could be utilized to, acquire these the unrestricted meetings. Like, I guess you could say the meetings that you would put on the meta universe could a well-standing member come in person and receive a transfer of data that way.
Brother Kosi, you just get with me. We'll work something out. I'll figure something out. It's not a standard practice I would want to promote, but I understand what you're requesting. So get with me and we'll work through that.
For 9 months. 9 weeks.
I say, and and hopefully we could do something so to figure out what can be done so we could put that, put it to the main body. Cause I don't want to try to get like I don't want to try to get any type of sense of entitlement. You feel me? So that I just kind of want to be straight arrow if best way I can. So I thank you for listening and hearing me out, and I hope to continue building with the UNIA and African people.
Praise first. Thank you, brother Coach.
Okay, Brother John, I believe that's all the members, sisters and brothers, has had an opportunity to share. So at this time, I would like to turn.
Lady President, the iPhone brother is there. If you want to call them.
iPhone. Brother, iPhone. Please share if you're back on the call with us. Please unmute yourself and member share.
This is Brother Imhotep. I had to use the iPhone and get off the
It's
computer.
another brother that's using the camera. We could see him, but he's
okay.
Get the mic off.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, brother.
Hey, look. Yeah, I'm part of UNIA, the Atlanta chapter, 421.
You look familiar.
Man, good thanks for the meeting, yo, and the strength.
Of course.
For sure, yo. Good thanks for real. That's super strong.
Yes, sir. You got it from email?
Yeah, already. Yes, sir.
All right.
For sure, Roz. Yeah, Roz Marvin usually plug everybody in the game, man.
Every
really
2 weeks.
Good thanks for the situation, real time, you know.
We try to make sure, second and fourth Sunday of every month, you should get a notification.
That's what's up, King. Good thanks, y'all.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, bless you, peace.
What's your name, brother?
Yeah. Hey, Baba Sante, Baba, what you call him? But I'm artist Farouk. You see me with my guitar.
Baba Sante.
There's on Baba Sante in the book. Shit here for you and I.
Gotcha. Thank you, brother.
Baba Sante, you have to play a song for us.
That's right. That's right. In the honorable words of Marcus Messiah Garvey, what he say? Any race that'll lead you will lead you to depend upon another race. Any race that'll lead you will lead you to depend upon another race. The race that leads you will always be a race of masters, and the race that is led will always remain a race of slaves. Hey, look. That's
beautiful and one love.
Black Carolina to the heartbeat. You already know. Now being your love.
Beautiful.
Race first, bro.
Race first.
Yeah, for real. Bless.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being on the call with us today.
Hey, good. Thanks, for sure.
Lady President, want me to close out?
Yes, sir, Brother President John.
Thank you. An excellent job hosting members share. One brief thing as we complete this meeting and I'm able to kind of open up my focus for the future, High Executive Council, it will be a big focus for the division. And that'll be a in-person gathering in Philadelphia from April 10th through 13th. So that'll be a big focus for the executive body. That's where we go, where Dr. Tony Martin talked about these parliaments, where we come to these national and international gatherings. This is one of those gatherings, and we will be the Atlanta delegation. Pretty much, we are the representatives of the South. There aren't any divisions south of DC and Baltimore that are representing our people. So that'll be a big focus for us. That's important, making sure that we have some form of representation of our district and our region. So if our officers are a little bit distracted over the next couple months, that's rightfully so, because our focus has to be High Executive Council. And then when we get back, and even before we leave, next focus will be Marcus Garvey Day 2025. And that'll be August 16th will be the primary day, but that'll be what we'll be focusing on, when we come back outside of, Malcolm X Day, Juneteenth, African Liberation Day along the way. So thank you, brothers and sisters.
President John, a couple things.
Yes, President Ross.
Greetings, Brother Asante. He's our Division 421. I'm member number 376. Okay. But even bigger than that, he's CBPM member 84. He's been with us from last century, from the beginning.
Okay.
So,
Foundation.
yeah, he's a
First
foundation
100.
man for the movement from way back in 96 and 97. That's how long Brother Asante been with us.
Okay, yeah, we call those OGs, the original.
Yeah, man, original. Every time he see me or talk to me, he give me maximum respect. And I give him the same because he's a great brother, a brother who's been with us from beginning of time and still with us today after years or decades. He's still with us.
Absolutely.
Second thing I wanted to share, I love the unification. And if everybody don't know what I'm talking about the unification within the UNIA, because this is more like an education thing, meaning that we all should be aware that our UNIA underneath President General Duncan is not the only UNIA. There's also UNIA, they don't see themselves as a government, but that President General is Brother Cleo Miller. So when I say I'm glad to see the unification, the program that's happening March 23rd in Atlanta is a program that's yearly put on by the Cleo Miller UNIA. Okay. And Lady President, or former Lady President Ra Ebony invited us to be part of it. So that's the unification I'm talking about. I'm glad to see the unification between the two UNIAs. Last year at the event, another UNIA, I believe President General Steve Golden, he was the main speaker last year. Okay. So we got to be aware of this for the program on March 23rd, because there should be more unity within our leadership. I'm talking about within the President Generals from the different UNIAs, where we can unite together and we can build one UNIA. So we just have to be careful, meaning that we didn't have no problem last year, but I know that this is not something that our leadership would endorse, us being part of this March 23rd event. So I can't wait to see the flyer for the event. So, but I'm glad to see the unification. Race first.
Race first.
Race first, President Ross. All right, brothers and sisters. I think we 8:45. We need to close out. We'll close out with our motto. We'll play the anthem. Lady President, Brother Malik, President Ross, if you could, please stay on for 1 minute, just maximum 2 minutes after everyone else leaves. So if everyone would, please repeat after me. We'll do our motto slogan, and we'll close out. One God.
One God.
One God. One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Africa for the Africans.
Africa for the Africans.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad.
And those abroad.
Up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. All for one, one for all. Support one, support all.
Yes, sir.
Up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will.
Right.
One for all and one for all.
Yes, yes.
Support one, support all.
Thank you, brother Dr. Sham.
All right, brothers and sisters, if everyone could sign off, I got a brief private meeting with leadership.
Race first.
Race first. Thank you. Let me stop.